safety. There's at least 24 people displaced. We've got word that they're working on a shelter here.
Emergency crews in Chatham County, North Carolina, say more than 100 roads have been flooded by the storm. Voters in Georgia are headed to the polls today for early voting for a runoff election that could impact all of our utility bills.
Two candidates running as Democrats for District 3 of the Georgia Public Service Commission face off in a primary runoff after neither secured the necessary majority vote needed in last month's primary. Peter Hubbard and Keisha Waits are both vying for the seat, which is elected by voters statewide. The winner will face incumbent Republican Commissioner Fitz Johnson in November. Election day for the runoff is next Tuesday, but early voting continues through the end of this week. The PSC oversees rate increases and other proposals from Georgia utility companies, among other responsibilities. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
The first trial for one of the defendants accused of trying to stop construction of Atlanta's new public safety training center scheduled to begin today. Ayla King is charged with violating the state's RICO law. King is one of more than 60 defendants charged in the case. The trials have been delayed for almost 2 years now over questions about evidence and whether their right to a speedy trial has been violated. Barring any last-minute delays, though, jury selection in King's trial scheduled to get underway this morning. Austell residents get the chance to weigh in today on plans for a big property tax hike.
In a letter to residents, Mayor Ollie Clemens says the city's been running at a deficit for years, and that's why officials are proposing what amounts to a 158% property tax increase. He says in order to make a stronger Austell with better services, safer streets, and a government that doesn't live in crisis mode, the $3 million increase in the millage rate and 2% fire tax are needed to stabilize the city's finances. 2 public hearings are set today at the Threadmill Complex Council chambers, one at 11 a.m., the other at 5 p.m. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
And Amazon prepares to hold its Prime Day event starting tomorrow. This time around, it'll last 4 days instead of just 2. Adobe analyst Vivek Pandya says consumers should find some pretty good deals.
We're expecting strong deals across categories like electronics, toys, even categories that we've seen elevated prices on, things like appliances, even grocery.
This is while Amazon came up with the idea of major sales to boost slower summer profits. Other retailers have jumped on board with their own events as well. It's 9:03. Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. And we start with triple team traffic. Here is Smiling Mark McKay.
We'll see the delays, Judd, improve between Tucker, Doraville, and Dunwoody across the north side perimeter. Had a crash that lingered way too long in the 2 left lanes of 285 westbound before Peachtree Boulevard exit 31. Still difficult back into the I-85 interchange. Tough through West Atlanta as well. At least the crash that was in the right lane is now working fully on the right shoulder here on the Jam Cam. 20 eastbound before Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, exit 51. How about that ride now into downtown Atlanta, Ashley Fresca?
Things improving from that long-standing crash that had up to 4 left lanes blocked at one time on 75-85 northbound past 166 Langford Parkway. A little sluggish now, though, trying to get between 166 and Freedom Parkway. And rolling in from the Brookhaven area, 85 southbound, you'll encounter delays down from North Druid Hills. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy and hot today, high 94, lows tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds along with an isolated pop-up shower, high 93. A few pop-up storms on Wednesday, high 92.
79 degrees right now in Douglasville, 78 in Stonecrest, 78 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30, breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
I'm fairly confident, high level of certainty, that if you go back and listen to tapes of my show immediate following the 4th of July, whether it was on a Monday like today or a Wednesday or a Friday, I'm sure you would have heard me complain about a number of things. How the fireworks kept my dogs up, how I didn't get all the great 4th of July foods that I wanted to, that the weather postponed the 4th of July fireworks at Lenox, that the heat was unbearable. If you go back, I'm pretty sure over my 28-year career, the first day after 4th of July, it would be just a complaint session by me about the 4th of July. On a normal Monday, you hear me going, I had to crank up the AC, the electric bill's going to be through the roof. My wife's car has more issues. I got to deal with that. You would hear me just bitch and moan about, life in general. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that today. Yeah, the fireworks were annoying. Yeah, I didn't get all the foods that I wanted on the 4th of July. Yeah, it was way too hot. But I'm in no position. I am beyond blessed in my life. And if you are in the car right now driving to work, you have your health, you are beyond blessed. You might not have had the greatest 4th of July weekend. Maybe you even had to work over the weekend. Right? That's a bitchable thing to on a Monday be like, I didn't even get off for the 4th of July. I had to you're right. That's something that people would be mad about, angry about. Can't be mad about that today. You just can't. I had to put air in my tire this morning. Not going to complain about that. I'm here. I'm alive. I'm healthy. Can't say the same for the folks in Texas. Just unbelievable devastation. Mother Nature remains undefeated and not in a good way. Horrific flooding. Horrific flooding. Parents out there, you send your kids to summer camp, ooh, go give them a hug. Go bring them a care package. Got word from the Camp Mystic folks today. 27 campers and counselors dead at summer camp. I think about when I went to camp as a kid. I usually went to baseball camp, but I was so excited for it. So excited for camp. Couldn't wait to go. I remember the first time I went, my parents were worried that I'd be homesick. I wouldn't, get me. I ran out of the car. Loved summer camp. Bunk beds in a cabin. Cafeteria style food. Just having fun outside, not a care. Oh my God, some of my best memories in life are from summer camp. And I'm sure my parents enjoyed the 2-week respite of getting me out of the house. I can't even fathom. What can you say about what happened in Texas? Unbelievable. And the death toll stands at 82 right now, dozens still missing. That death toll, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, it's going to rise. There's a chance of more flash flooding in the area. So I'm not going to complain that the fireworks scared my dogs. Not going to complain that I didn't get to go to a pool or watch the Peachtree Road. I have zero complaints today. Nothing but gratefulness. Nothing but thankfulness. My family's healthy. My friends are healthy. Just completely awful news out of Texas. We're going to go live to Texas after the 9:30 news and I even hesitate to do that. I don't want to bring more bad news, but it's such a big story, such a story that can hit anyone. If you're a parent, if you went to summer camp, if you were a counselor. Miles, one of my brothers, he was a camp counselor for years. My brother loved being a camp counselor. 27 campers and counselors dead at Camp Mystic in Texas. I am not familiar with this area and the Guadalupe River, Deborah. Is that correct? The Guadalupe River?
Yeah.
First off, you're okay, right? Your families are okay? You in Longoria? I know you guys have roots in Texas.
Yeah, everyone's good.
All right. Deborah, tell me about this area of Texas and specifically the Guadalupe River. Is this like a big Chattahoochee type river? Do you have any knowledge of it?
So this is like an hour north of San Antonio. I know it's north of San Antonio. I'm not super specific like the neighborhoods, but I want to say it's about an hour north of San Antonio. And the issue with the river, I don't know if we have it here, but the earth there just doesn't absorb water very well, and so much rain came down at one time there was just nowhere for it to go, and that's why it overflowed so quickly. But I can't remember hearing about this type of flooding ever growing up, because my cousins live near that area. I don't ever remember them saying stuff like this happened ever before.
Yeah, I mean, just biblical type flooding in that area. And I pulled up the Camp Mystic layout on Google Maps, and looking at it now, the river kind of bends around twice, and then there's an offshoot called Cypress Creek. And I look now and we're like, yeah, that campgrounds is in a perfect spot for flooding. Like you can see it on the map. Be like, oh yeah, I could see how it's probably low lying area. Yeah, I mean it's stunning to see that. So I'm assuming though, Deborah and Longoria, maybe you can chime in. This is so northwest of San Antonio and pretty far west of Austin. Not a heavily populated area. I guess we can be thankful of that.
Yeah, it's not like a dense city. It's a little more spread out around there.
Yeah, but that river, runs through the whole state. Obviously,
Oh, yeah.
So it's a well-known river then.
Yeah. So like even when I was coming home, I had to go through Victoria, Texas. My mom was like, "Hey, make sure," because you had to cross the Guadalupe to get when you're in Victoria. So you just had to make sure that everything was downstream, everything was good.
Yeah. So I mean, ironically, Longoria was off last week and vacationing in Texas again. He's okay. His family's okay. Deborah's family's okay. Vinny, I asked you to pull up some information about Camp Mystic because it seems like the founder, the owner of the camp, is dead. Has been declared dead. Vinny, what did you find out? What can you tell us about Camp Mystic?
Just some general information. So the campers are allowed to attend. You got to complete second grade.
So second grade and up.
Yep, second grade and up.
Oh,
Counselors, high school and up.
Okay.
Established in 1926. After World War II, it began offering 2 sessions. It's got like different locations as we already discussed. Guadalupe River.
Yeah, let me jump in there for a second. So the Guadalupe River, that's where the major flooding was. That's the original campsite. And they have different weeks. So there are, folks have been camping there since May 30th. So imagine the sigh of relief as a parent, like, oh, my kid went to the May 30th or the June 26th camp and got, was out of there beforehand. But second grade, as young as second grade at the camp. There's another Cypress Lake camp that was started in 2020. I believe that was not impacted by the flooding. Generally, there are 150 to 200 campers per session. So think about that. And a minimum of 46 counselors. So 2 to 3 counselors per cabin of 16 campers, 23 cabins total. So at minimum, 250 people, and 27 of them died in the flooding. Just unbelievable. Count your blessings, my friend. Count your blessings. Pamela Brown from CNN's in Texas, she actually went to the camp as a child. So you imagine how difficult it is for her to cover the story. On the new news from the Camp Mystic spokesperson, 27 campers and counselors passed away.
Yeah, it's the first accounting from the camp of how many campers and counselors died. And in this statement, John, Camp Mystic says it is grieving the loss of 27 campers and counselors following the catastrophic flooding on the Guadalupe River. The statement goes on to say our hearts are broken alongside our families that are enduring this unimaginable tragedy. We are praying for them constantly, and it talks about the communication that's ongoing with local and state authorities. Now, we don't know how many of those 27 are campers versus counselors, but presumably a majority are those young campers, those 8 and 9-year-olds who were washed away overnight when the rapid floods came in and rose in 45 minutes, going 26 feet. And this community, I've been out here talking to them. There is so much heartbreak out here, John, but there's so many stories of heroism as well. 27 have lost their lives at Camp Mystic, and we should note we don't know if that includes some of the 10 missing and the 1 counselor outstanding. But I've been hearing stories of the night watchman jumping into action, going to one of the cabins and saving the girls, keeping them afloat on mattresses. Those young camp counselors, teenagers, jumping into action and rescuing the girls, getting them out a small window at the back of the cabin and trading them off one by one to get on the hill when the water is chest deep. Those counselors risking their own lives to save those young campers. And there are still so many questions, John, of whether any of this could have been prevented and whether any lives could have been saved. Those are such hard questions now as parents were going to the local funeral home just a week after dropping off their kids at the camp to potentially identify their child. And we have reporting about the talks here in the county about potentially putting in a siren system over the years. 9 years ago, there was discussion about putting in a warning system for flooding. This is one of the most flood-prone areas in the country. The people here are no stranger to floods and to alerts. There's the question here of whether there was any alert fatigue, whether enough was done, whether evacuation should have come earlier, and we're going to be pressing for those answers to those questions. There's a press conference coming up later this morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, with Texas officials, and we hope to learn more about that and about those who are still missing and what those search and recovery efforts look like right now.
Pamela Brown, former camper at Camp Mystic, reporting on the tragedy there. Again, 27 campers and counselors dead, 82 dead total, and dozens still missing. We're going to go live to Texas after the news at 9:35. Get the very latest from CBS reporter Chris Fox there. Chris has been our main dude on any big Texas breaking story, so he's going to join us live. When we come back, President Trump had comments. He is going to visit the flood-ravaged area, and I should mention, not out of the woods yet. 5 million people now still under a flood watch in central Texas until 8 p.m. tonight, 7 p.m. Central, with more showers expected today. So this isn't over. Just a horrible situation there in Texas. All right, when we come back, going to the White House, get the latest on the response from President Trump. But first, on this Monday, July 7th, 9:17 on the Mark Arum Show, checking the Monday ride around town. Here's Mike Shields.
Hey, good morning, Mark, and much better news as you make your way into West Atlanta on I-20 eastbound, just past Holmes Drive, right at MLK Jr. Drive, exit 53. A crash that was in the lanes, moved to the right shoulder. All lanes have reopened, but still dealing with the sun in your eyes as you leave I-285. And a crash cleared in Doraville, 285 westbound, the outer loop at Peachtree Boulevard, exit 31. All lanes are back open. This report is brought to you by Scott Antique Markets. The Scott Antique Markets is this weekend. There's no telling what you'll find. Visit the Atlanta Expo Centers at I-285 and Jonesboro Road. It's the Scott Antique Markets this weekend. ScottAntiqueMarket.com. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
When traffic
no
hits,
traffic getting through in either direction.
the Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Even the bridge over 75 is being held.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Traffic out of Spaghetti Junction along 285 westbound and a crash on Peachtree Boulevard, 141 southbound before 285.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. We are here with CFP Matthew Decker of the Vincent Financial Group and host of Retire ATL. And Matt, you've said that income is the outcome that matters the most in retirement. But what income streams require the most attention?
Yeah, so if you've got a pension or if you're living off of Social Security, you kind of know those income streams show up in your mailbox. That's mailbox money. It's almost like you're still working, and it doesn't really require that much attention. But most people that come into the office today, they are having to use their 401ks, their IRAs, SEP Simples, 403bs that are invested in the market to generate income. And anytime you're going to use a market-linked asset where you have to go in and decide when you're going to buy and sell to generate your income, it takes a ton more effort, energy, and attention to get that piece of the puzzle right. But it doesn't actually have to be that way.
So, Matt, the number one fear of adults in retirement is outliving their money. How do we get started building income today?
Well, you can get started today. You'd call us for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement roadmap. We want to build a GPS for you that's going to help navigate retirement, and it's going to have a focus on building and preserving income. 770-280-1488. We've got a representative standing by to talk to you right now. 770-280-1488. Our home office is in downtown Woodstock, but we are available across the metro Atlanta area to meet with you at a time and place that fits your schedule. Again, 770-280-1488 or online at retireatlradio.com.
The team at Vincent Financial Group want to help preserve your assets while building retirement income that lasts as long as you do. Call today for your complimentary retirement roadmap, 770-280-1488. And you can always get more at retireatlradio.com and join us for Retire ATL Sundays at 6 p.m. right here on WSB. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Hi, it's Tim Andrews for my roofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you'll be able to get it in the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
Hi, this is Megan, your friend and jeweler from Shane Company. Did you know not all warranties are created equal? At Shane Company, our free lifetime warranty is all-inclusive and even protects the diamond in your engagement ring. We can offer such an incredible warranty because our rings are crafted to last a lifetime. As your friend and jeweler, our gift to you is peace of mind. At Shane Company, we also cover unlimited repairs, resizings, and cleanings for free for life, saving you thousands over time. Because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Change, well, it's always happening. It's a part of life. When it comes to music, change absolutely all around us. Songs rewritten, classics are remixed, bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same: the price of your internet. Hey, it's Mark Aram here. Xfinity introducing a 5-year price guarantee. 5 years. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Wow, 5-year price guaranteed. Are you surprised? Don't be. Life's full of them. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed broadband experience report August 2024.
It's our 20th anniversary at North Georgia Replacement Windows, and we're celebrating with our biggest sale in company history.
It's Ted and Jonathan. For a limited time, save 25% on beautiful Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows and doors.
Celebrate with us and upgrade your home's energy efficiency, comfort, and curb appeal. Window and door shopping made simple.
Hurry, 25% savings ends July 31st.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
It's just been so sad because you first see the post and it's about 30 people that are missing, and then it's like people are missing and we don't even know, and then all of a sudden they're found, and families and kids, and it's like never ending.
That's Hilda Mendoza, a Kerr County employee, talking about Deborah, biblical flooding, right? I mean, this is from just everything's fine, normal summer camp day to holy smokes, the skies opened up and the storm surge. I saw the numbers. Vinny, maybe you can find it for me on the amount of water that fell in that area over this short amount of time was mind-blowing. It's like more water than we use in the United States in a month. Something crazy like that. I should have bookmarked it, and I apologize. Again, we're going to go live to Texas after the 9:35 news. But obviously, President Trump has been briefed on this. Elena Treen on the Trump response to the flooding in Texas at the White House this morning.
The president says that he will likely go to Texas on Friday to visit some of the areas that were really devastated from this flooding. He said he actually wanted to initially go as early as this weekend, but he didn't want some of the security apparatus that surrounds him to get in the way of the rescue and recovery efforts in Texas. Now, the president is calling what happened in this state horrible and says that federal resources will continue to be made available to those people on the ground in the communities who have been affected by this. And he also signed, the president, a major disaster declaration for Texas yesterday. And what that really did was unlock key federal resources to help those on the ground. That includes FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and also we know that the Coast Guard has deployed several resources as well. That includes 3 fixed-wing aircraft, which have thermal cameras able to detect movement on the ground that might not necessarily be visible to the naked eye. Now, among all of this, there are also questions that are being raised about whether some of the cuts to some of the different federal agencies, including the National Weather Service, some of the budget cuts and staffing, particularly some positions have been left vacant, some key positions have been left vacant due to some people taking the early retirement that was offered by the federal government in an effort to really cut federal resources, whether that could have affected this. Now, I do want to be clear, it is very unclear at this moment whether or not budget or staffing issues did lead to this. We've heard some experts, even some Trump critics who have been very critical of these different cuts at the National Weather Service, say that essentially they don't believe that this could have happened, that this could have affected the situation, that it was very specific what happened with this type of flooding and the very quick way that it had rose in such a short amount of time. I'll just say the president, we heard him address this yesterday. He argued that that had nothing to do with the recovery and preparation for some of this flooding. He also addressed questions over whether he still plans to try and phase out FEMA after this hurricane season. I remind you, that was really his goal, to phase out FEMA from a federal level and really put the onus on the states to prepare those resources in preparation for these types of hurricanes and storms. He did not answer that question, but of course one that we're going to continue to be scrutinized as we move forward.
Yeah, but now is not the time. You're still looking for people. No, there'll be time to reconcile what happened, what didn't happen. Now is not the time. All right, so I found the statistics that I was talking about. First off, Vinny, you said the river rose how many feet in how many minutes?
26 feet in about 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh, the river's probably not even 26 feet deep, and it rose 26 feet in 45 minutes. All right, so 3 trillion gallons of water went down the river during these floods.
Dang.
3 trillions. That equals the amount of water used in 1 year in the United States. Think about that. That's how much water 330 million Americans use in a year, and that all went down that river. 3 trillion gallons of water is equivalent to 1.5 million Olympic-sized pools. 3 trillion gallons of water is 1.5 months of water flow at Niagara Falls. 3 trillion gallons of water. At one point, there was a 27-foot wall of water that went down the Guadalupe River. Unbelievable. Tragic situation. Hug your loved ones. Hug your loved ones. Go visit your kids at camp. Judd's got your news, weather, and traffic in 2. When we get back live to Texas for the latest on the horrific flooding, this is The Mark Arum Show.
It's not going away, that spot you're trying to ignore on the ceiling, and it's only going to get worse. Hey, it's Dave Baker, host of the Home Fix-It Show for my experts at Findlay Roofing. The roof guys. Your roof is long overdue to be replaced, and now Findlay has 0% financing available, so it's even easier to get a new roof. Get started today with a Findlay Roofing free roof analysis, then take advantage of the 0% financing available. FindlayRoofing.com.
It's Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I've got something important to talk to you about, your 401k. If you have changed jobs, there are 2 very important considerations. You don't want to leave your 401k behind, and you don't want to roll it over into your new company plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. 401ks will often have limited investments or age-based options. Since companies have to make choices to suit all employees, they may not be suited to you, which could cost you fees and money. When you roll over your 401k into an IRA, you not only keep your money growing tax deferred, but you also gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
It's officially time for Zero Res's annual summer sale. Take advantage and get 15% off all cleaning services. Mention Chris Chandler to secure this deal today or book online at ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zero Res. All they leave is clean.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Jed Hickenbotham. Our top story this half hour. The search continues today in Middle Texas for any survivors following devastating flooding over the holiday weekend that left more than 80 people dead. That number expected to go up. Correspondent Jim Ryan says dozens remain missing, but there could be others.
There's no way of knowing how many people might have been in the campgrounds out there, just these independent campgrounds with their RVs or their tents. And those folks, we don't have a firm count on them at all.
A hard-hit Camp Mystic reporting this morning or announcing that 27 campers and counselors were killed in the disaster. Meanwhile, we're also watching the risk of major flooding in North Carolina and Virginia today with the remnants of Tropical Storm Chantal dumping up to 6 inches of rain in some spots. Damaging floods have already been reported in Chapel Hill after the storm made landfall early Sunday in South Carolina. As for here, it is 79 degrees right now in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says temperature will get into the mid-90s today with plenty of sunshine. We stay hot tomorrow. Chance of rain going up as well. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. 2 school resource officers from Barrow County's Appalachia High School are being honored at today's National Association of School Resource Officers Conference. That's out in Texas. Deputies Chase Boyd and Brandon King are credited with confronting the suspect in last fall's attack. The NASRO says although the loss of life at Appalachia High School is an absolute tragedy, the deputies ran toward danger and saved lives. They're receiving the National Award of Valor at today's ceremonies. Vape shops around Atlanta may learn today whether they will face tougher regulations.
City Council votes today on an ordinance that would keep a 1,000-foot separation between vape shops and a 1,000-foot separation between elementary and secondary schools, plus most places kids gather. The measure says the aim is to stop children from starting to vape and protect their health. Atlanta-based Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says most e-cigarettes contain nicotine, which is known to have adverse health effects. Steve Summers, 95.5 WSB.
Oil prices fall after OPEC and its allies agree to a larger than expected production hike for next month.
The group led by Saudi Arabia has decided to boost supply by 548,000 barrels a day. That puts OPEC and its allies on track to unwind their most recent output cuts a year earlier than planned. Officials with the group pointed to summer demand as one reason for their optimism that those extra barrels could be absorbed by the market. The production hike answers President Donald Trump's calls for lower fuel costs. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
And Georgia bucks the trend of southern states when it comes to fast food. Our state ranks 33rd in a study of how much residents are spending at the drive-thru these days. Mississippi and New Mexico top the list from Wallet Hub, with almost 0.5% of a person's entire income going to fast food. For Georgia, that rate's about 1/3%. Not surprisingly, Mississippi also typically tops lists of least healthy states as well. It is 9:33 as we check your money. A down start this morning on Wall Street. Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ are all way down, including especially the NASDAQ down about 0.5% right now. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. Let's head to the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
And Judd, watching a crash 85 southbound right at Georgia 400 in Northeast Atlanta right now on the jam cam. It's in the second left lane. I expect they're going to block multiple lanes to get that over to the shoulder, so be aware of that as you leave Brookhaven into Northeast Atlanta. Got a crash working on the right shoulder, 20 eastbound at Riverside Parkway, exit 46. Inside the perimeter crash still on the right shoulder right at MLK Junior Drive, exit 53. I'm Mike Schultz, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina, where it's partly cloudy and hot through this afternoon, high 94, lows tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, an isolated pop-up shower possible, otherwise partly cloudy, high 93. A few pop-up showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday, high 92.
Boy, 84 degrees already in Duluth, 81 in Marietta, 81 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10, breaking news when it happens. I'm Jed Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Chris Chandler. When you join us Tuesday, starting at 5 a.m. for Atlanta's Morning News, of course, we'll have the latest from the flood disaster zone in Texas, breaking metro stories from overnight. There is something new, so what to expect as Amazon Prime Days get underway. And Clark Howard looks at a website that might help you save on your medicine. Plus our exclusive 5-day forecast, all on Atlanta's Morning News, all starting at 5 on 95.5 WSB.
You see so many damaged homes, downed fences, even these boats and cars still stuck high
Catastrophic
up in
floods, deadly floods in Texas. We go live to the Longhorn State next on the Mark Arum Show.
Summer's here, and so are the backyard parties, barbecues, and pool days. Is your house ready? Wise Guys Pro Wash can help get your home, driveway, and deck back to new in no time. Mention me, Chris Chandler, and get $70 off your next service. Book now at wiseguysprowash.com.
2 keys to surviving a brutal Atlanta summer. Number 1, stay hydrated. Drink your water, folks. Number 2, make sure your air conditioning unit can handle your needs. It's Mark Arum back from my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. You need AC this summer. You need an AC that works and is reliable, and you need to save money. Check out this offer. Get any sized AC, just $69.99 a month. That's it. 0 down. Low monthly payments, all future repairs, maintenance, even filters are no additional charge for life. An unbeatable lifetime warranty. Plus, you get 24/7 service and next day installations guaranteed, or Reliable pays you $500. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the schedule service button, or call or text 770-594-9969, 770-594-9969.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in AMCO just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to AMCO.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, efficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned AMCO near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA
MCO.
And I think starting a third party just adds to confusion. It really seems to have been developed for two parties. Third parties have never worked. So he can have fun with it, but I think it's ridiculous.
President Trump reacting to Elon Musk, apparently following through on his threat to form a third political party here in the United States. We're going to go in-depth on that. Erick Erickson is going to join us live at 10:35. Got to talk to him about Elon Musk's America Party, and I have some thoughts on that. A couple of other big stories we're following. Benjamin Netanyahu visiting the White House today. His third appearance at the Oval Office already in President Trump's second term, and the possibility of maybe a ceasefire or peace deal with Hamas in the works. So a couple of big stories outside of Texas we are monitoring. We're going to go live to Texas in just a couple of minutes. In case you're just joining us, Camp Mystic released a statement today. 27 campers and counselors are dead. Unbelievably tragic. All told, 82 dead across the state of Texas. Dozens more missing. Sadly, that death rate is likely to rise probably during this broadcast. But continuous updates, and we're going to go live to Texas in just a second. But I should mention, obviously, the headline is the devastation in Texas. But it was a deadly 4th of July weekend here in Georgia, Deborah. Let's start with this boat explosion. Where did this take place? I never even heard of this lake.
Yeah, Lake Notley. It is near Blairsville, so I've never been to this lake before. All I heard was lake. Of course, I thought Lake Lanier, and then all of our friends that we know with boats up there. But this was at Lake Notley, and it was an explosion over the holiday weekend. So the boater's name is Matthew Miller. He was out there with his family, and they just stopped to put gas in the boat while they were on the water. But while it was idling, something went wrong. The boat exploded. Basically, everybody was tossed off the boat, kind of like how you would see in a movie almost. All of his family members ended up in the water. Most of them ended up in the hospital. Some of them have been released, but the two older sons, they were the last ones out, and they have some pretty severe burns. They're going to be in there for several months. Yeah, but I mean, the great thing is that you did have so many people in the area for the holiday that all like the jet skiers and other boats and just anybody out there rushed to the area to try to help the family, like get out of the water, get them, aid, get them to the shore. So, but yeah, that's really scary.
Yeah, I saw the video on social media, but unfortunately, it's just when the video comes out, you don't get details. It's just like one of those viral social accounts posted. And I didn't even know. I just assumed because Lake Lanier is so popular that it happened at Lake Lanier, but there was no status on the people on the boat. But you're right. It was like right out of a movie. Horrific. So serious burn injuries there. That's horrible, but thankfully no one died there. But we did have some deaths in the state of Georgia over the July 4th holiday.
Yeah, 5 people on the water over the holiday. So there were 3 drowning and 2 for some other things. And the DNR reported there were 19 injuries just overall, and that could be kind of anything while you're out on the water. 17 different boating incidents, and then 40 BUIs, boating under the influence. Of course, people were partying a little bit too hard this weekend, but 5 deaths.
How are you still boating under the influence at this point? Like, the dangers of it, right? Just listen, 5 people dead, just, because of you're on the water. It's already such a dangerous thing. And I understand the allure of going on the lake and having some beers and enjoying and celebrating the 4th of July. But we've had so many stories of tragedy. I don't understand how people are still drinking and boating. All right, continue our team coverage of the horrific floods in Texas. Joining us live from CBS News, reporter Chris Fox. Chris, good morning. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry that we always get you on these such horrible stories, but what's the latest you can tell us this Monday morning?
Yeah, I guess the latest we're hearing is Camp Mystic, 27 dead. We're still 10 missing and 10 missing campers and 1 counselor. And so we're looking at basically at least 400 first responders scouring about 35, 40 miles of the Guadalupe River from Hunt, Texas, which is where Camp Mystic was located, all the way down through Kerrville, where I am, down to Center Point and Comfort. And that's where a great deal of the first responders focused yesterday. And a lot of the bodies were found. They set up a grid system. There were so many bodies down in Comfort. And helicopters, again, buzzing overhead. They stopped last night, began about 7 a.m. this morning locally. One of the nice things about today so far is it's not raining. And it was partly cloudy. Now it's mostly cloudy. There are heavy rains in the forecast. This just makes life hell for first responders going through debris. It's fluctuating water levels make it really, really difficult to go through just debris fields that could fill stadiums. And at this point, there is heavy rains in the forecast, but they are expected hopefully north and northeast would be best if they hit northeast instead of northwest, because northwest would feed the Guadalupe River.
Yeah, I gave the water totals last segment, Chris. The amount of water that came down the river was equal to the amount of water used in the United States in 1 year. I mean, that's biblical type flooding. Did this just come out of nowhere? How heavy were the rains that caused this flooding?
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's all over Central Texas. I live in Austin. We got pummeled as well. Rivers there, 6 dead in Travis County, another dead in Williamson County due to the flooding. And this is an area also that has been under severe drought conditions for 5 years. So the ground is just rock hard to start with. So which doesn't help matters at all. And so it is all at once or nothing, and it's just amazing to see. Also, it's amazing to feel the power. So you can watch it on TV, and it looks amazing. But you stand there over the bridge or on the bluff where I am in Kerrville, and one of the people standing near me said, you can feel it with your body. You can feel the power of it, and it's intimidating. It makes you nervous. That feeling of just feeling like you're not in control, and that's how powerful the water is. I got here at a period of time when the water rose a couple feet because of rains and because of that wall of water coming down from Johnson Creek just north of here, and so it was like, oh, here we go again, feeling. At that time, because the water had receded pretty much. But now today with the threat of heavy rains again, it does add that one more aspect to this thing. It just feels crazy.
Chris, was it so sudden that there was nothing that like the campers at Camp Mystic or the counselors could do to get out? Was it just that fast and that ferocious?
And the fact that it's in the middle of the night.
Oh, absolutely.
That everyone was asleep. And yes, it was. You see the levels on the side of the camp of cabins. You see how high the water level was, and that those cabins near the Guadalupe, they had to bash out the windows and jump out the windows. Also, this is called Flash Flood Alley, and it's because of the way hill country is. Basically, focuses water in certain directions, and it does it quickly. And if you add to it the fact that it has been such a drought area for so long, and the ground is hard as a rock, the water just filters like a funnel quickly. And that's part of the arguments being made against the county judge for not evacuating the camps a day in advance, because, as she said, we didn't realize it was going to be like this. We didn't, but flash floods aren't uncommon here.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you have a nickname, Flash Flood Alley. But how serious? I guess it's one of those. How seriously do you take them when it happens so often?
And I was looking at the maps where Camp Mystic lays around a bend of the Guadalupe River, and there's an offshoot there, Cypress Creek, and it just
Cypress, lake right there.
It just looks like that is prime for a flood zone. You mentioned this is west of Austin, northwest of San Antonio. I'm assuming this is a pretty rural area, Chris?
It's hill country. It is. There are vineyards when you drive in, dozens and dozens of vineyards as you drive in. This is the most beautiful area of the state by far. And this is why it's such a draw along the Guadalupe River for events like 4th of July, long weekends in the summer. One of the nice things is it's currently still in the 70s here right now, high in the low 80s. That's one thing at this time of year. Obviously, we could be looking at hundreds, and we're not.
Talking about the strength of the storm surge and the flood and just the devastation, right? The countless people that are dead and missing. From your vantage point, is this a rebuildable area? Will folks even want to return to this area after this horrible flood?
Kerrville Strong is the slogan that you see driving in everywhere, and so I think that answers the question. Yes, and the power of it. I had heard before I got here, the water was rushing so hard it wore the bark off the trees, and to see these cypress trees and to see what they were talking about in person, while you feel the power of the water and you can hear it, it's an overwhelming experience.
Indeed. Chris Fox, CBS News, live in Texas. Chris, as always, appreciate your time, my friend.
Thank you.
What makes this even scarier is the fact that it happened overnight, right? Picture yourself an 8-year-old camper. You're in the bunk beds in the cabin. You had arts and crafts that day. Maybe played some kickball. Maybe went swimming. You're tucked in for bed at the night, and the flood happens in the middle of the night, pitch black. I mean, I can't even imagine. We'll continuously update the horrific flooding in Texas. Again, if you're just joining us, Camp Mystic announced 27 campers and counselors have passed away, 82 dead statewide, dozens still missing. Those numbers are certainly going to rise. And as Chris mentioned, overcast skies right now, but there is more rain in the forecast, which is just going to hinder the recovery efforts there in Texas. We do have some other stuff to talk about, including President Trump hosting the Israeli Prime Minister in D.C. We'll update that next. But first, got some trouble heading in from northeast Atlanta, the I-85 corridor. Live with the latest, here's Mike Shields.
That's right, Mark. 85 southbound right at Georgia 400 crash. Been sitting in the second left lane for about 15 minutes. Hero unit just pulling up with that, so I expected them to block multiple lanes to get that pushed over to the shoulder. And watch out for roadwork set up in Gwinnett County. 85 northbound Steve Reynolds Boulevard, exit 103. That's in a right lane. This report is brought to you by Stone Mountain Park. Visit Stone Mountain Park and enjoy attractions like the Sky Ride and Dinosaur Explorer, plus catch the Music Across America drone and light show. Get your tickets at stonemountainpark.com. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
Why do you always go after the game show host of The Price is Right?
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
Don't tell me how to handle my life.
Eric Von Hessler.
Or anyone else.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want an addition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
Men, are you having problems performing in the bedroom? Do pills like Viagra and Cialis leave you feeling frustrated? Well, now there's new hope for men who suffer from PE and ED problems. Meet Dr. Katz, a specialist in men's health.
Hey guys, I'm Dr. Katz with Choice Men's Health. Regardless of your age or medical condition, Choice Men's Health can safely restore your sexual potency. Our customized solutions can eliminate your problem in just one visit. There's no pain, no surgery, and it's affordable.
Guys, don't let the anxiety over your performance get you down. We can get you back in the game. Call Choice Men's Health today to find out how you can eliminate ED on the very first visit. Call 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
Scott Slade here from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you're going to be able to get it into the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
Our research shows the #1 fear for retirees: uncontrollable economic and market swings. And after the last 5 years, that's totally understandable. But here's the good news. Happy retirees are twice as likely versus unhappy to have a financial plan. A plan can calm those worries. My team at Capital Investment Advisors would love to help your family build a plan you can feel confident about. Just pick a time that works for you at yourwealth.com. That's yourwealth.com.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter. Car prices are expected to rise this summer. Do you wait or buy now? At Butler Lexus South Atlanta, there's no guesswork, just peace of mind. All in-stock Lexus vehicles are price locked, guaranteed not to go up. Visit Butler Lexus of South Atlanta or call 800-NEW-LEXUS. Experience the standard of amazing.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
A few years ago, my youngest son had something minor turned into something very major in a matter of hours.
It was Medi-Share that came through for us, and there was no hassles, there was no problem.
That's what's so wonderful about knowing that you're a part of such an incredible ministry.
Medi-Share is a biblical approach to healthcare where Christians share each other's medical expenses.
Medi-Share is a family, a group of people that stick with you through the hardest times of your life.
Medi-Share isn't insurance. It's a nonprofit ministry over 30 years old, and members have shared over $8 billion of each other's medical bills.
We don't have to spend so much on health insurance. You can focus on supporting other people.
Medi-Share is affordable.
Medi-Share is biblical. Medi-Share is family.
Join thousands of Christians who can help you save on your health care and support your family when you need it. Call 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE.
The hardest part was there was a little boy who started floating downstream, and he was screaming, asking for help, but there just wasn't anything anybody could do at that point.
Oh, that's Julia Hatfield, flood survivor in Kirk. Can you imagine the helplessness of seeing in these raging floodwaters a 3-year-old boy just going downstream? Incomprehensible stuff going on there. We're going to try to figure out, I'm assuming, Deborah, right now, like Red Cross, and you donate to, the normal organizations, but we'll try to find other organizations in the area that are going to help with the search and rescue. But can you, so that's Julia Hatfield. She survived the flood. Obviously, we have audio. How is she going to live with that image for the rest of her life, seeing a 3-year-old just being swept down the river and there's nothing you can do about it? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, God bless. We are so lucky. Count all of your blessings, my friend. No matter how bad life seems to be treating you, please count your blessings. Want to get to that Elon Musk third-party story coming up after the news at 10. But President Trump, for the third time, hosting the Israeli Prime Minister today at the White House. Our buddy Linda Kenyon at the White House has a preview.
President Trump says the two will discuss a lot of things, including the U.S. airstrikes against Iran's nuclear sites and ending the war in Gaza. Just last week, the president welcomed freed Israeli-American hostage Idan Alexander to the White House. The president says Alexander's release coincided with an agreement by Israel on conditions to finalize a 60-day ceasefire with Hamas. While Trump meets with Prime Minister Netanyahu at the White House, indirect negotiations between Israel and Hamas have been underway in Qatar.
Yeah, that was one of the big
Linda
stories.
Kenyon,
Linda.
CBS News, Washington.
Yes, that was one of the big stories I was following this weekend, is that it seems like both sides are actually going to be, they want to negotiate a finality to what's going on between Israel and Hamas. And you have to imagine what we did to Iran and the nuclear program. Really shook the region to get Hamas to the table. President Trump commenting on the possible deal.
I think there's a good chance we have a deal with Hamas during the coming week, pertaining to quite a few of the hostages. Yeah.
So there you go. We'll monitor that again. President Trump is going to meet with the Israeli Prime Minister. Texas authorities going to have a press conference at 11 a.m. We'll dip into that. I mean, first off, Deborah, let me just say this. 3-day weekend should be the norm around here. That in my next contract, I'm off Fridays. And it was more like a 3.5-day weekend because we were off Thursday at noon. So I had the rest of Thursday. It was amazing, but I kind of lost track of time, and I totally forgot to watch the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Last week we had Mickey on, who was the world record holder, Mickey Sudo. Vinny, did she wind up winning the Nathan's hot dog contest?
Yes, she won.
Nice.
Yes.
Congratulations to she was a great guest. What is it, like 50 hot did she what was her record her total for the hot dog eating contest?
33 hot dogs this year.
Oh, that's less than she had her record's like 51 or something.
Yeah, she did less.
All
but
right.
yeah, she still got that win.
Did Chestnut win the men's division?
This dude ate 70 and a half hot dogs.
Wow.
24 more than the next closest competitor. And won, yes.
He's the GOAT. He is, man. He's the Michael Jordan of hot. I had 4 hot dogs this weekend. 4. And not in one sitting. And when I went to varsity after we had Mickey on, and I had 3 chili cheese dogs, and I was like, I'm done. They were delicious, but I'm done. All right, so Mickey, she won. Maybe that'll be an annual event now. She'll come on before defending her title at the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Congrats to her. All right, when we come back, updating our top local stories. And Elon Musk sounds like he is going to fulfill his promise of starting a third political party. In-depth coverage of that when we return to the Mark Arum Show. Social media is active throughout the broadcast at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Is your old AC unit ready for another sweltering Atlanta summer? Probably not. Hey, good news. Mark Arum back from my friends at Reliable. Great new deal going on right now, guys. Any size AC, just $69.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Any AC, just $69.99 a month. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the schedule service button or call or text 770-594-9900. $969.
Your friends at Steel Horse Law are motorcycle injury lawyers who ride. They've mastered safely riding our Georgia roads, and they've mastered the unexpected twists and turns of Georgia law. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler for Steel Horse Law, the Stein and Karen Law Group. With all the changes in Georgia law, you need the most experienced local motorcycle injury law firm to protect your rights. You can trust them on the road and in the courtroom. Get a free case evaluation at steelhorselaw.com.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by TE Certified Electrical, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll have the very latest on the Texas floods coming up. But first, we're going to start here at 10 o'clock with a story that could impact a lot of us and our pocketbooks. Voters here in Georgia heading to the polls today for early voting for a runoff election. It could impact your utility bill.
Two candidates running as Democrats for District 3 of the Georgia Public Service Commission face off in a primary runoff after neither secured the necessary majority vote needed in last month's primary. Peter Hubbard and Keisha Waits are both vying for the seat, which is elected by voters statewide. The winner will face incumbent Republican Commissioner Fitz Johnson in November. Election day for the runoff is next Tuesday, but early voting continues through the end of this week. The PSC oversees rate increases and other proposals from Georgia utility companies, among other responsibilities. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
All right, thank you, Austin. Your weather for today, partly cloudy and hot. We're headed for an afternoon high of 94. We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast with WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards coming up in just over 2 minutes. Now to Texas. President Trump says he may visit Texas this week following the deadly flooding there. More than 80 people killed in the floods.
Working very close with representatives from Texas, and it's a horrible thing that took place. Absolutely horrible.
Karen Travers has more on the president's plan to visit Texas.
President Trump says he'll probably travel to Texas on Friday and says his administration is in touch with state and local officials about what they need to respond to the deadly floods in central Texas. The president signed a major disaster declaration for Kerr County, which enables more federal funding to get to the area.
And rescue crews this morning continuing their work in central Texas searching for possible survivors. Well, this week there will be rolling lane closures both south and northbound on Georgia 400, and this is between Abernathy Road and Georgia 141, and it's because of work on the upcoming Express Lanes project. The lane closures will be in place now through Saturday, according to the Georgia Department of Transportation, and that'll be every evening starting at 9 o'clock, and it'll run through 5 a.m. each day. It's a first for downtown Woodstock, but starting this hour, you're going to have to pay for parking in parts of the downtown area there in Woodstock.
There'll be signs up near your parking spots where you either can text, scan a QR code, or go into an app to start a parking session, basically.
And that is Kyle Bennett with the Woodstock's downtown development team. He says that the first hour is going to be free, then the next 2 hours will be charged $2 an hour. The paid parking program will operate daily from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. And again, it is just now going into effect this hour. In Austell, they're holding their first public hearing next hour on plans of a significant property tax increase.
It's a proposed 158% tax hike, which would amount to about $595 for a home with a fair market value of $299,000. Austell Mayor Ollie Clemens says in a letter to residents that the increase is necessary, and it wasn't a decision made lightly. Clemens says the city weighed every option and considered the impact to every household, but he says they can't build a better Austell on hope and patchwork solutions. The hearings are set for 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. today. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
Amazon holding its Prime Day promotional sale this week, actually lasting 4 days, starting tomorrow. And out this morning, Adobe's predictions for how the event will play out. Lead Insights analyst Vivek Padaya has more.
This year, the Prime event is going to be 4 days instead of the usual 2 days. We're anticipating about $23.8 billion in spend because of these additional 2 days.
And he says they do expect deep discounts on electronics, appliances, toys, even groceries. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 145 at 44,682. NASDAQ also down more than 0.5%, and the S&P's down almost 0.5% here at 10:04. And that means it's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca joining us now from the WSB 24-hour Traffic Center.
Construction on the interstates around Metro Atlanta was suspended for the July 4th holiday, but now they are set up in Gwinnett County. 85 northbound approaching Steve Reynolds. Look out for the barrels in the right lane. And some better news on 285 north. A crash has been moved to the shoulder before Paces Ferry. An earlier crash 85 south just before Georgia 400. That now on the shoulder. Thankfully no delays into downtown. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy and hot today. High 94. Lows tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds along with an isolated pop-up shower, high 93. A few pop-up storms on Wednesday, high 92.
It is 82 degrees right now in Canton, 83 in Kennesaw, and Sugar Hill has 84 degrees. We'll have more news at 10:30, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Monday morning to you. Mark Aram here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Aram Show live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. Reunited, and it feels so good. The whole family back with us today. Deborah, the executive producer of the program. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Two Slices screens your calls. Coming up in 30 minutes, Eric Erickson is going to join us live, talking all things politics. 11 a.m., we are set to hear from the authorities in Texas. They're going to do a press conference, update the latest there with the absolutely horrific flooding situation. A wall of water, unlike we've seen in I don't know, in my lifetime perhaps. 26 feet surge on the river in just 45 minutes. The latest death toll, in case you're just joining us, 82 dead statewide, dozens still missing, and poor Camp Mystic. Think about just kids' summer camp, like this bubble of happiness, of joy, of carefree life. And the Camp Mystic today announced that 27 campers and counselors have passed away, with still more missing. So again, live press conference at 11. We'll monitor that and bring you any new information. I do want to start, though, with the reignition of the feud between the world's most powerful man and the world's richest man. Yes, I'm talking about President Trump and Elon Musk. It all goes back to the big, beautiful bill that Musk was not a fan of. ABC's Christian Cordero has an update.
Trump calling Musk a train wreck after the billionaire announced he's starting a new political party in the wake of his public split from Republicans, calling it the America Party, saying when it comes to bankrupting our country with waste and graft, we live in a one-party system, not a democracy. In response, Trump saying the one thing third parties are good for is the creation of complete and total disruption and chaos. Musk hitting back, asking what the heck was the point of Doge if he's just going to increase the debt by $5 trillion.
Now, Musk not alone in that criticism of the deficit increase in the big, beautiful bill. President Trump was asked about it yesterday, about Elon Musk starting that third political party.
And I think starting a third party just adds to confusion. It really seems to have been developed for two parties. Third parties have never worked. So he can have fun with it, but I think it's ridiculous.
More from the president on Elon Musk and the reignition of their feud.
I think it's ridiculous to start a third party. We have a tremendous success with the Republican Party.
Now, again, I'm not picking sides in this, but I think President Trump should take the high road on this. Listen, he's not running for a re-election again, so a third party won't affect him in the next presidential race. And I'm pretty sure it's too early to get third-party candidates up on the midterm in 2026. So even if Elon starts a third party, it won't impact President Trump's agenda. He just got the bill passed, right? So if I were advising President Trump, I'd be like, just let it go, man. Just let it go. Let him start his third party. Let him waste his money. Just don't even acknowledge it, right? Just brush it off. Water off your back. That would be my advice. Now, Elon Musk. No one's going to deny his Deborah, give me a good phrase here. I want something genius. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a special dude, but I mean, brilliant.
Seal?
Yeah, I don't know. He's a brilliant guy, right? You look at the success, and I mean, listen, he was born on third base. He was born into, he didn't struggle from the streets of Cape Town to get where he is here. But I'm not going to take away the success he's had with just about everything he's done with Tesla and SpaceX and every. I mean, he didn't invent these companies. But he came in and brought them to prominence. So I'm not taking anything away. But the one thing that Elon Musk is not a genius at is marketing, because he wants it to be called the America Party. Like, what? That's the best you can come up with? The America Party? It's like his rebranding of Twitter to X, which everyone still calls it Twitter. I mean, Twitter was already a brand. Marketing's not his bag, baby. Like, let him do the engineering stuff and the back end stuff. But if I had his money, you hire a marketing team and be like, all right, listen, we want to start a third party. What's the best name you can come up with? The America Party. To me, when I hear that, it's just pandering to me. It's just, you know, I've got some experience in marketing. One of my best friends is an amazing marketer. I've got friends in the business. It can make or break a product, a person, a company, etc. But when I hear, and I don't want to, because I know some of them sponsor or advertisers on the station, but I get cringe when they pander. Like, I don't even know if they sorry to the sales team if they advertise on this, but like Patriot food buckets, right? That's just, you know, come on. Just throwing the word Patriot in front of your product just to pander to a certain segment of the population, I find that disingenuous. There's on TV, I don't think they advertise here. If they do, I apologize. But I see these generators or solar panels, Deborah. Have you seen those commercials on cable news?
Yes, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
And it's like, Patriot solar panels.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's I don't want to call them scammy, but it's just like you're just grifting. You're just throwing the word Patriot in there. Doesn't make you, it gives me the ickies. So I'm all for a third party, 100%. I'm again, if you look up on my personal Facebook page, it says political affiliation. I am the founder of the Middle 60 Party. Now, I'm not saying that's a great name, but I've been on that. I've planted that flag decades ago. Like, I'm done with the extremes on the left and right. It's the Middle 60 of the country that have the power. So I'm all for a third party, but hire a marketing team, Elon. Goodness gracious. The America Party? I should do a thing on social media. Come up with better name than the America Party. That's just, am I wrong, Deborah? Does that jump out to you like, oh, the America Party?
Aren't we all part of the America
Yeah,
Party? That's my confusion, right? Like, I'm American.
It should. I should text my marketing buddy. He'd come up with a great, I don't want him to do it for free,
That's
though.
what Twitter is for.
Yeah, but I mean, because you have a great way. I think there is an appetite out there for third party. I know moderate Democrats are like, what the hell's going on with our party? And I know moderate Republicans are going, what the hell's going on? Like, there's a lane for a legitimate third party. You just got to sell it better. And just the America Party. I'd rather you go back and revive the Whig Party, right? Wasn't that a party?
That'd be great.
Wouldn't that be a party from the founding? Yeah, I mean, something better than the America Party. Now, what? Listen, Musk. Listen, he's got the Twitter X megaphone, right? He actually mocked President Trump. A couple of things too, by the way. He keeps bringing up those Epstein files, which is becoming a thing now on Capitol Hill, left, right, and center. Because we were supposed to get full disclosure of these Epstein files from the Trump administration, and still nothing. Still absolutely nothing. So Musk bringing up Epstein again. He's got the Twitter megaphone. He's mocking Truth Social, President Trump's social media app, which is still crazy that he's allowed to have a social media app as president when Jimmy Carter had to give up his peanut farm. But I digress. But listen, it might not be anything. The third party might not be anything. And time-wise, I don't think they'll be in time to jump in on the 26 midterms, maybe the 28 election. But you can't just, forget a guy with the deepest pockets on the planet and with an agenda and a score to settle. Call it the America Party. Let's just say he does get some candidates for the America Party. It's just not good. For 2028 congressional seats. I don't doubt it. Elon Musk, I mean, you saw the impact he had in the presidential election with his millions, hundreds of millions of dollars donated. You don't think he could flip a couple of Republican seats to his America Party seat? And with the slim majority the Republicans have now, he could be a spoiler. So I wouldn't completely write off the power. But if I'm President Trump, I don't worry about it. Your political career it's done. Musk can't impact what you're doing now through the rest of your term with the third party. I'm just going to call it the third party. I can't bear to bring it to say the third party, the Musk third party. I will ask Eric Erickson about that. He joins us live at 10:35 after the news. Deborah, you might remember I asked you were off Longoria. I kind of brought back Would You Rather?
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, well, just one question.
Oh, okay,
and it really
okay.
was, I didn't get any answers, but we were covering the Diddy verdict last week. And remember, Deborah, I said, who would you rather be, Diddy or Kanye?
Yes.
Right? And I said, I think as much as I despise Kanye, I think I'd rather be him because he's at least a free man. I mean, he can't go to Australia. He lost his visa there. But I asked this, would you rather? Who would you rather be, Diddy or Conway? And I don't know if I spoke it into existence, but apparently those two are going to collaborate together. What?
Two wrongs don't necessarily make a right.
Yeah, what are you hearing on this story, musical correspondent?
There might be a possible collaboration between Ye, his new name, and Diddy, his name. So Kanye West and Sean Combs, they're both in the spotlight, obviously, for their bad behavior. But the story is this. So Kanye actually called Diddy when he was in prison a couple months ago, and he recorded that phone call, as Kanye often does with anybody he talks to on the phone. And then he took bits of those conversation and added them to a song. And he actually released that on the internet a couple of months ago, but it was just a piece of it. Now he's thinking of releasing the full song and hoping that because Diddy is free, they'll collaborate and put a full album into existence. And that will be like Diddy's pathway back into society.
Does he go full heel? Does he, because prior to this, Diddy probably wouldn't go anywhere near Kanye, right? He's kryptonite. But now that he's been convicted and all this stuff, does he say just embrace it? And they bring in R. Kelly to do background vocals. I don't know. That's crazy. I did hear though that when Diddy's still in jail, right? He thought he was going to be freed that day. He's still in jail. They were reporting that he got a standing ovation back in the prison in Brooklyn from not the guards or anything, but the inmates gave him a standing ovation. Pretty nuts. I'm going to go on the record and say I will not buy the new Diddy Kanye album. But it's so funny that I said, would you rather? And then, lo and behold, they might be dropping new stuff. All right, when we come back, going to get the latest on the Texas flooding. President Trump going to be meeting with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in just a little bit as ceasefire hopes are rekindled. Proposed talks underway in Doha. 60-day ceasefire and 10 living hostages would be released. In exchange, humanitarian aid would flow back into Gaza, and an unspecified number of Palestinian prisoners would be released. So it looks like closer than since the last ceasefire deal that President Trump might be able to negotiate something. So we'll update that when we come back. First, though, on this July 7th, Monday, checking the midday ride around town, let's say hello and good morning to Ashley Frasca.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Still looking at a little bit of sluggish traffic downtown on 75-85 northbound. The worst of it just before and after University Avenue for that ride to I-20. Speaking of I-20, a crash has gone to the shoulder now. I-20 east before Fulton Industrial Boulevard, a tap of the brakes. And there's that crowd through Kennesaw. No apparent reason for it, though. 75 north, you're on the brakes approaching 575. Traffic brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. Learn more about their supportive common threads and nutrition education at anthem.com/dream. Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield is the trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia, Inc. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
Is your summer vacation going to be a week at the beach or a week in the backyard standing in the kiddie pool?
If you listen to 95.5 WSB, that week at the beach could be yours. It's $1,000 Thursdays on WSB.
Your chance to win $1,000 every hour between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. on Thursdays.
Listen for the keyword. Enter the keyword at WSBradio.com or on the WSB app within that hour.
Get all the info at WSBradio.com.
$1,000 Thursdays this Thursday
From 95.5 WSB.
where Atlanta wins.
Hey, this is Robbie with Ben Hill Renovations, the preferred deck experts heard on the Home Fix-It Show. We're well known for our superior craftsmanship for decks and outdoor living spaces. And at Ben Hill Renovations, we provide that same attention to detail when it comes to roofing, siding, windows, and doors. So get your project started today and call to schedule a free estimate. Or you can stop by our showroom in Douglasville, online at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want an addition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One question I'm always asked is, how did you become the largest injury firm in the world with over 1,000 attorneys and $25 billion in verdicts and settlements? One way was our financial strength. Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America. To prosecute a typical case costs up to $250,000 in case cost. We advance them all. Product liability cases can have similar costs with an army of lawyers on the other side. Automobile insurance companies have the resources to fight. Guess what? So do we. Many law firms simply may not have the financial firepower to work up your case the way you deserve. And we don't charge by the hour. No recovery, no fee. If you have a question about your case or wish to become a client, go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer. 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
Hey folks, it's Scott Slade. You've heard me talk for years about how Myland is saving homeowners hundreds, even thousands of dollars every month. Well, here's something that comes up often. Does it make sense to refinance your mortgage and pay off high-interest credit card debt? Well, even if you have a low interest rate on your mortgage, that isn't helping you if you're carrying credit card debt month to month. Myland sees this every day where people call in and wish they had done something sooner. Holding on and making minimum payments on your credit cards is only making the situation worse. There isn't one solution for everyone, which is why I trust and believe in my friends at MyLend. They'll shoot straight and give you an honest assessment for you and your family at no cost. Do yourself a favor. Give MyLend a call. Find out how much you could be saving. 770-817-2000. Call 770-817-2000. Online, it's mylend.com. Spelled it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS and Georgia Residential Mortgage Licensee 148769, located at 8995 West Side Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. MyLend is an equal housing lender.
It was an absolute force of nature that I've never witnessed before.
Absolute force of nature. Mother Nature cannot be stopped. Horrific flooding in Texas. 82 dead, dozens still missing. Live press conference at 11 a.m. held by Texas authorities. We will monitor that and bring you updates here on 95.5 WSB. Quickly updating the Mideast story. Again, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is going to meet with President Trump today on the possibility of a ceasefire deal negotiated by the president. ABC's Jordana Miller has more from Jerusalem.
Hamas says that they have a positive response. They've had a positive response to the president's latest ceasefire deal, Gaza ceasefire deal. And Netanyahu largely has echoed that positive response, but he has said on our terms. And there are still some very big gaps that have to be bridged for us to reach the finish line.
Now, there's no scheduled press conference with the president and the prime minister, but we know President Trump sometimes will pull some things out of his sleeve, and we might see them take questions from reporters, in front of the fireplace, Deborah, where we had the Zelensky blow up. We might see some of that, so we're going to monitor that. But again, this goes back to the precision strike that we had against Iran. And if you remember the day after, I said, it doesn't matter if they still have a nuclear program or any enriched uranium. We changed the dynamic in the Mideast. We showed that we are not scared to attack Iranian homeland. And the reverberations throughout the Mideast are huge just for that one thing. It doesn't matter whether, it matters, but the headline is we had the gumption to do that. Not that is Iran's nuclear program gone. Game changer there in the Mideast. Some breaking news over the weekend. I had such a great 4th of July weekend, the extended weekend. Deborah, you're not going to believe this. Not once did we order Uber Eats this weekend.
What?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
I
Did
know.
they send like a health check to your house to see if you guys were okay?
They're so freaking out over at Uber Eats. But Maya was home with me. We were cooking. She made crab rolls last night, hot dog. It was, we had a peach crumble. Our friend B gave us a case of peaches. Real quick, you sent me a story. We only have 30 seconds here. States that spend the most on food versus states that spend the least on food. Who spends the most on food?
Mississippi.
No, I think it's flipped. I think they spend the least.
Oh, okay. Well, then the most would be Massachusetts?
Yeah, per capita.
Wow.
Because everything's so expensive in Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
Real quick, where was Georgia on that list?
Georgia ranks at number 33.
All right, so not too bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah. All right, Taxachusetts. That's why we call it Taxachusetts. All right, news, weather, and traffic in 3 minutes. When we come back, Eric Erickson live. Going to ask him about Musk's third party. That's next on the Mark Arum Show.
What's the biggest mistake people make when selling their home? That one's easy. Settling. I don't mean settling down. I mean settling for way less money. It happens all the time. You get tired, worn out. A few lowball offers roll in, and suddenly you're like, yeah, sure, whatever. Just take it. Not with Orchard, because Orchard has flipped the entire system. First, they give you cash up front for your current home. That means you can go ahead and buy your next place on your timeline. No showings while you're still brushing your teeth. No packing up twice. No weird limbo life. Then, while you're chilling in your new place, Orchard gets to work selling your old home for top dollar. They handle the details, the marketing, the heavy lifting, and you get more money without losing your mind. So stop settling. Get your free home valuation today at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Skeeters biting you? Better call Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. And Breda is proud to sponsor Scott Slade, Georgia, every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
A company that has been trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years has already done their hometown homework, like having the very best people, fair, honest pricing, exceptional customer service, and a focus on high-quality work. That's us. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Sometimes new isn't better, like out-of-town home improvement companies invading Atlanta with their inflated pricing and subpar work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by your Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. We are hearing this morning from survivors now of the deadly flooding in Texas over the holiday weekend. Devin Smith was camping with family when their campsite was flooded. She was carried away by floodwaters for miles before she climbed into a tree. She was rescued by Carl Jetter. He says he heard her before he saw her. In all, more than 80 people died. At least 41 people are still missing. All right, your weather for today, partly cloudy and hot. We're headed for an afternoon high of 94, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Early voting underway this morning for a runoff election that could impact your utility bills. 2 candidates running as Democrats for District 3 of the Georgia Public Service Commission face off in a primary runoff after neither secured the necessary majority vote needed in last month's primary. Peter Hubbard and Keisha Waits are both vying for that seat, which is elected by voters statewide. Now, the winner will face incumbent Republican Commissioner Fitz Johnson come November. The first trial for one of the defendants accused of trying to stop construction of Atlanta's new public safety training center is scheduled to begin today. Isla King charged with violating the state's RICO law. King is one of more than 60 defendants charged in this case. Atlanta City Council taking aim at vape shops.
Council members say they want to discourage children from taking up vaping and protect their health. An ordinance they'll vote on today would keep new vape shops 1,000 feet apart and keep them 1,000 feet from elementary and secondary schools, plus anywhere kids gather. Atlanta-based Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says most e-cigarettes contain nicotine, which is known to have adverse health effects. Steve Summers, 95.5 WSB.
2 school resource officers from Barrow County's Appalachia High are being honored at today's National Association of School Resource Officers Conference in Texas. Deputies Chase Boyd and Brandon King are credited with confronting the suspect in last fall's attack. The organization says although the loss of life at Appalachia High is an absolute tragedy, the deputies ran toward danger and saved countless lives. They're receiving the National Award of Valor at today's ceremonies. The American Red Cross putting out a call for blood donations as it faces a summer shortage.
The Red Cross says the July 4th holiday added to the blood donation challenges this summer. Summer vacations and severe summer weather can have a sudden impact on the ability to collect blood and platelets. The Red Cross is especially in need of type O donors to give blood right now. And patients are still counting on life-saving products of all blood types to stay available in the coming weeks. You can book a time to give blood or platelets by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS or by using the Red Cross Blood Donor app. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
If you're sleeping with the lights on, it could increase your chances of heart disease. In a yet-to-be peer-reviewed study out of Australia, researchers find that people who sleep near the brightest lights have the highest risk of heart failure, heart attacks, and stroke. They theorize that the light disrupts the body's natural internal process that regulates the sleep-wake cycle, leading to possible adverse effects. As we take a look at the markets, the Dow's down 202 at 44,626. NASDAQ also down more than 0.5%, and the S&P's down almost 0.5%. It's 10:33, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca joining us now with a look at your roads.
Look out for construction crews headed up to Duluth on 85 northbound, working around Steve Reynolds Boulevard, just in that far right lane. Southbound in the same area, a crash has been moved to the shoulder. Still stop and go on the connector, 75-85 north, coming up to I-20. And a few brake lights now in the right lanes of 285 westbound, trying to ramp onto I-75 there in Cobb County. I'm Ashley Vraska, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy and hot through this afternoon, high 94, lows tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, an isolated pop-up shower possible, otherwise partly cloudy, high 93. A few pop-up showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday, high 92.
It's 84 degrees in Woodstock and Brazelton. Sandy Springs has 86 degrees right now. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
If you have the WSB radio app.
If you have the WSB
all the notifications you
If
need.
you have the WSB app.
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
Breaking news in Cobb County.
All in one place.
We'll send out an alert on the WSB app.
The 95.5 WSB app.
Download it from your app store today.
I think it's ridiculous to start a third party. We have a tremendous success with the Republican Party.
President Trump not happy with the possibility of a Musk third party. What does Eric Erickson think? He joins us live in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show.
Hey, y'all, it's Belinda Skelton, and summer's in full swing, and so are the bugs, especially the mosquitoes, ticks, fire ants, and yes, those dreaded roaches. I was at a friend's barbecue the other night, and the bug spray was getting more action than the ketchup. Y'all, that wouldn't happen at my house. I use Arrow Exterminators, and my home and yard is protected. Don't let summer barbecue crashers ruin your fun. With Arrow Exterminators, you can stop the itching and the biting and take back your yard. Arrow's been family-owned for over 61 years, with team members who use the most effective and environmentally friendly solutions available, and it's all backed by their 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. Call Arrow Exterminators today for your free home or business pest inspection at 888-GO-ARROW or visit arrowexterminators.com and tell them Belinda sent you.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2798. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You don't want to play games when it comes to your roof. That's why you should call Finley Roofing, the experts who believe manners matter and who will treat your home like their own. So you'll be sure you get your roof done right. Learn more at finleyroofing.com.
I just called out to her and told her that, hey, I see you, I've spotted you. We're going to get you help. Hang on. We're going to get you out of this.
Just horrific, deadly flooding in Texas, but some amazing rescue stories. That was Carl Jeter, who helped rescue Devin Smith. She was camping with relatives when the campsite flooded. In case you're just joining us, 82 dead, dozens missing. Camp Mystic released a statement today that said 27 campers and counselors passed away due to the horrific flooding there. Authorities in Texas are going to have a press conference at 11 o'clock. The news team and I will monitor it for you and bring you new information there. But in the meantime, though, joining us live, as he does every Monday at this time, our buddy Eric Erickson. Eric, first, just the horrible flooding there in Texas. Unbelievable.
Yeah, wild. This is not the first time it's happened. And those rivers run fast. I've seen some of the videos now. The floodwaters rose and spilled over banks in minutes, not hours.
And the flood waters that came down that Guadalupe River equals the amount of water used in the United States an entire year. 3 trillion gallons of water went down the river. That's remarkable.
Yeah, and so it's important, I think, for people to understand that when we talk about flash floods, because the way our river system works in Georgia, they tend to be deep, not wide. And so they don't spill over banks as quickly. Literally, folks, you can watch the security cameras from areas. It was minutes. There's one video, I put it on Twitter just a short time ago. You can literally, it was people standing on a riverbank. They can see the water coming downstream in the next second wave, and it's just a wall of water coming towards them. It looks like something out of a movie. And this is, so for people who have a hard time understanding here, because when we have flash floods in Georgia, it rises, but it tends to rise in a gully and then spill over. In Texas, they don't have those deep trenches. The water boundaries are wide, but not very high walls. And so when it spreads, it comes up and over very rapidly in minutes.
Yeah, unbelievable. And not out of the woods yet. Apparently some more rain forecasted in the area. So just wanted to get your thoughts on that. All right, Elon Musk. First of all, he's following through apparently with his promise to start a third party. My biggest problem with this is the name he chose for the party. He is not a marketing genius.
No.
The America Party? I mean, come on, you can do better than that. That's a pandering name.
Yeah, and it's also tied to his PAC. He's got the America PAC. The problem here, there are a couple of problems. One, both parties hate third parties more than they hate each other, so the ballot access laws of the 50 states make it almost impossible for a third party. The second is Elon Musk can't be president of the United States. Wrapping a party around the image of a man who can't even get elected to the presidency is not a smart way to go, and I think that the consultants are just going to bleed him dry without much to show for it.
Yeah, I said last segment, because President Trump, obviously, I played some audio. He's not happy with this. But unless I'm wrong, like this, whatever third party is created by Elon Musk, it won't impact the political career of President Trump. Coming on the heels of the big bill being passed, I would imagine the time frame, even if the third party starts tomorrow and is fully funded, getting ballot access in the 26 midterms is a reach.
Yeah, it's going to be almost impossible for him to do this because it's a signature drive. In a lot of states, the signature drives are designed to be all but impossible. Like, for example, in New York, for example, you have to have people in the counties who are citizens of the counties be the people to collect the signatures to get on the ballot in the county. And you got to have a certain percentage of people who are there. You can't pay the people who are the ballot drive organizers, so you got to have a popular movement. How do you get on in the state of New York when you have to have local residents of the counties who are not paid collect the signatures? Good luck.
Is there a possibility, again, I think 26 is a moot point at this point, but maybe in 28, the Musk third party could play spoiler in a couple of important congressional swing districts, maybe?
Yeah, and that's probably why you're going to see Democrats not be as aggressively fighting them, as the Democrats right now think that Musk is going to hurt the GOP, but maybe not. And the other thing is there is a third party that has ballot access in all 50 states called the Libertarian Party, and Musk could work a deal with him. The Libertarians have reached out to him to try to do that.
That's a good party name, Libertarian Party.
Yeah, funny how that works.
Yeah, I mean, hire the WSB digital team. They'll come up with a better name than the Liberty Party.
If you want a billionaire out there who already did it, there's also something called the Reform Party that Ross Perot started. It still exists in mild form in most states.
Dust that puppy off, perhaps. Yeah. Eric Erickson joining us live here on the Mark Arum Show. Eric, I haven't talked to you since the big, beautiful budget bill passed. My biggest problem, listen, I knew it was going to get done. I am no longer going to ever doubt Speaker Johnson or President Trump when it comes to getting the votes needed to do something. My biggest problem was the increase in the deficit. I mean, if you're going to make these cuts, make it count. Let's drop down our ugly deficit. That's my biggest problem with the issue. Your thoughts on the big bill?
Yeah, listen, it does some good things, but by and large, it continues to drive up public spending. Public spending sucks money out of the private sector, which causes stagnation. A buddy of mine, David Bahnsen, he's a internationally famous wealth manager, sent me a note this weekend and said people are misstating that bond yields are going up because of the deficit spending. That's not true. Bond yields are going up because all the dollars being sucked out of the private sector go into the public sector, which means bond yields go up because the government's attracting more money and taking money out of the private sector. So you're going to have a slowdown in the country, and you probably will get more inflation.
Were you surprised with the speed that Speaker Johnson was able to get the holdouts to switch sides on this?
I was actually really surprised by that, but ultimately, at the end of the day, we knew it was going to pass because Republicans had to get it passed because they needed to show they could govern.
And they did it, and before the July 4th deadline. Now, there were some changes on the Senate side, and again, I didn't read the full 900 some odd pages, but a story bubbled up over the weekend, and I'm sure we have different social media circles, you and I. Part of my social media sphere are professional poker players. And they are livid at something that was thrown into the Senate bill that basically reduces the amount of losses they can deduct on their taxes. Are you even familiar with this story?
Yes, I am. It caught everyone off guard. No one wants to confess who put it in. It was not in the House version, and it wasn't in the Senate version until the second to last draft. We don't know. What it does is under federal law, you can deduct your losses against your wins. Under the changes, you'll only be able to deduct 90% of your losses to your wins, and it's also means tested based on how much money you've made overall. So the more you've made overall, the less you'll be able to deduct your losses.
Yeah, I've never seen blow up in the poker community like this, because basically, I mean, there's razor thin margins anyway if you're a professional poker player, and you're basically going into every fiscal year in a 10% hole. And the margins of a professional poker player gambler they can't sustain that. So they're absolutely free. So we don't know who put it in. Is there any way you can find out?
Almost impossible to be able to figure out. Someone did it with no fingerprints. We just don't know. There is an effort to discourage gambling, particularly online sports betting. And I suspect this is the way they decided to target it. But the way it works actually is it targets blackjack and poker players more than sports bettors, because the sports bettors tend to be more amateur than professional. Therefore, I mean, this targets the earnings of the professional betting community.
Yeah, it doesn't impact novices like you and me, where we go to Vegas and play blackjack and craps. Most popular sport, growing sport in the United States is UFC. Right? I mean, it's popular for a reason. People love it. President Trump announced that he is going to host a UFC fight at the White House. I like UFC. I enjoy it. But to me, this it doesn't seem like a good fit to have a UFC fight at the White House.
No, it doesn't to me either. But, I mean, the president's base, they're big UFC fans. He goes to all the matches. George W. Bush, when he was president, put in a Little League field, and now this president wants an octagon. So it fits his image, but I don't know about that one.
It makes me feel a little icky. I mean,
I will tell you this. When I was in Vegas this weekend, I got a massage, and the guy who did the massage was the UFC's massage therapist.
Oh, wow.
And my body still hurts.
I mean, I understand the president loves the sport. I love when he goes to the events. I know he's a showman. But I just feel a little weird about,
Yeah, it's very odd, but it's definitely on brand for Trump.
There you go. All right, what's coming up on the big show today, my friend?
You know, we got to start with kind of the political blame. It turns out an NPR reporter, I got to commend NPR, has actually talked to all the weather experts. And today, the weather experts are saying you can't pin what happened in Texas on the National Weather Service. They actually were overstaffed for the event, and yet there's this talking point out there. So I want to wade through that, but then also get into this wild Axios story. Democrats are getting frustrated that upper-income white Democrats are encouraging elected Democrats to go get shot to fight Donald Trump. Literally, go get shot to fight Donald Trump.
Not like a vaccine shot, but
no, actually, like take a bullet to prove you're committed to fighting Donald Trump. And what's interesting here is only upper-income white progressives are calling for this.
Interesting. All right, must listen, noon to 3 across these fruited plains. Eric, thanks so much, my friend. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
All right, there you go. Eric Erickson, noon to 3 on WSB. Deborah, I've never seen, the last time I saw the poker community in such an uproar was Black Monday, which was like 15 years ago. And that's when like all the online poker sites shut down, and people had like tens of thousands of dollars like just lost because they were all these offshore accounts. And again, it's not going to impact me, but all the professional poker players, they're like, where did this come from? Someone in the Senate snuck this into the bill, and then the next thing you know, it's passed in the House, and it's like they're freaking out. They're like, we're going to have to move to Monaco, we're going to have to move to Dubai, we're going to have to do something because they can't sustain a 10%. It's basically a 10% loss in their income. By the way, the World Series of Poker is going on now, and I'm having massive FOMO.
I would too.
Well, I'm going to Vegas on Thursday. So I'm flying out after the show on Thursday.
Thursday?
Yes.
You're off Friday?
I am off Friday.
I did not know that.
No.
Check
Neither did I.
the email. Yeah. Shelley should be already lined up.
No, okay.
Really?
Oh, I'll double check. I thought, yeah, for sure.
hope.
No, that's because that's the last
Be the
day
Deborah
off.
Longoria show.
That's the last day off I have until December. But Maya and her best friend want to go to the Sphere.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
To see some boy band from their childhood. I don't know.
Backstreet Boys.
It's one of them. It might be NSYNC. It might be back. I don't
No,
know.
you're the one that wants to go.
I don't want to stick my foot in the mouth, but she wants to go to the Sphere to see a show, which is amazing. So I was like, yeah, absolutely, you can do it. So we're going out there, and it's going to be like right at the end of the world, the main event of the world. I'm having such FOMO right now, but I haven't played poker in so long. It would have been just burning money there. Deborah, let's update a couple of stories if you don't mind. Oh, by the way, did you I started watching a TV show this weekend.
Oh, what is it?
And I'm pretty sure you had recommended it to me years ago, and I forgot to watch it, called Mr. Robot.
Oh, I love Mr. Robot. Yeah,
So,
it came out years ago. Yeah.
So you did. All right. So the reason I bring it up because you this story I saw over the weekend and you sent it to me. Mr. Robot, by the way, I'm only like 4 episodes in, but I'm really. What is the guy's name? He played
Remy Malik.
Remy
Christian
Malik.
Slater are the two big.
Yes,
actors.
yeah, Christian. And I thought this was a new show, but this has been out for years.
Yeah.
Basically, he's like an IT guy, hacker kind of thing, and it reminded me of the story you sent me, and I saw over the weekend. There's this IT guy that got outed on social media for working for 4 companies at once, and none of the other companies knew about it.
Yeah, I mean, what an overachiever, right? So this software engineer, he's gone viral now because he was secretly doing 4 IT jobs at different startup companies. And he was pulling in about $40,000 a month, but eventually one company called him out because he just kept missing all these online meetings. He kept having these conflicting excuses like why didn't he do this or what happened. And so he finally fessed up and saying he wasn't trying to scam people. He wasn't stealing or sharing secrets. He just really needed the money, and he has agreed to just walk it back to one job now.
Yeah, that'd be like me just saying, not telling the bosses here, and be like, hey, I'm going to simulcast this show on like 3 other radio stations.
Right.
Yeah, so, all right, but Mr. Robot, yeah.
That's good.
I was like, I think Deborah reminded me or recommended this to me, so I was like, I got to watch it. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that show so far. All right, when we come back, the latest on the deadly Texas flooding. But first, got to check that Monday morning commute. Live with the latest in Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. It's Ashley Fresca.
Just a little slow going at Norcross. Construction set up in the right lane of 85 northbound at Steve Reynolds Boulevard, and they're working up in Commerce again today. 85 north past US 441. That's causing some delays there in Jackson County. And better news on North Druid Hills, westbound headed toward the interstate. A crash just cleared from the intersection at Briarcliff. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
We've all been
Jam
there.
starting at Langford Parkway.
Counting the minutes before we know we're going to be late because we couldn't count on a traffic app.
Jammed from I-85 down towards Ponce.
There is one thing you can count on. Triple team traffic on WSB.
Stay slow once you're inside the perimeter as well.
We know the highways. We know the streets. And we know the shortcuts.
75 northbound heading up to Cobb County through Marietta and Kennesaw.
And all you need to do is listen.
More experience.
More reliable. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Triple team traffic.
95.5 WSB. How Atlanta gets there.
It's summer in Georgia, pool days, backyard barbecues, and that sweltering southern heat. You know, the inside of your home shouldn't feel like a sauna. Dave Baker here for Coolray Heating and Cooling, Plumbing and Electrical. You can turn your house into the ultimate cool escape with Coolray. Right now, get up to $2,250 in rebates plus free attic installation when you upgrade your HVAC to a complete Carrier system. Proper installation is like a sidekick for your HVAC, keeping cool air in and hot air out. And don't forget your plumbing this summer. For a limited time, get a $99 water heater flush to ensure your hot water stays running all summer long. No surprises during those morning showers. From cool comfort to smooth flowing plumbing, trust a Coolray team that's kept Georgia homes running for decades. Simply visit Coolray.com today to schedule your appointment. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Hi, this is Candace from Exovations, and have I got a tip for you. Don't just take my word for it. For over 20 years, you've heard me on the radio sharing remodeling advice. But if you really want to know what sets Exovations apart, go read our reviews. You'll see words like amazing work, incredible experience from start to finish, and again, stress-free. But don't just listen to me. Listen to our reviews. Google Exovations or visit exovations.com.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer with experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
Market volatility isn't slowing down. If you're nearing retirement, now is not the time to wait and see. Every day of uncertainty can put your future at risk. It's time to diversify. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I want you to know you can create certainty, locking in guaranteed income for life. This means predictable, stable cash flow, even in turbulent times. You've worked too hard to leave your retirement to chance. Right now, there are options to receive up to 30% upfront or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't wait. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any examples provided are hypothetical. Annuities are issued with prospectus and sales brochures and should be reviewed carefully before funding as features and benefits vary. DBA in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. If you're over 50 and tired of your wireless bill getting higher and higher, there are 4 things to consider. 1, how much data are you really using? As we get older, we use less data on our wireless phone, but you're probably still paying for an unlimited plan that was designed for 20-somethings. 2, if you see Get a Phone on Us, get your sneakers out and run the other way. No one is giving you a free phone. You are paying for that phone over time with an overpriced rate plan and a long-term commitment. 3, check the fine print on that $15 a month plan. It's probably an intro price that'll double or triple later. You might even have to pay for several months of service up front. Number 4, be aware of cable company wireless plans. Most of your usage will be on Wi-Fi instead of 5G, and your calls and battery life could suffer. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide service without the big wireless bill. Our plans start at just $20 a month.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/fax. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
So we sailed onto the sun till we found.
Happy 57th birthday to Richard Starkey. Don't know who that is? I didn't either. That's Ringo Starr's real name, Deborah.
Yes.
Richard Starkey.
Yes.
I think you'd come up with a better name than Ringo Starr. I think he hired Elon's marketing team. Ringo
America Star?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I had no idea his real name was Richard Starkey. 85 years old. He and Sir Paul, the 2 remaining living Beatles. Happy birthday, Ringo. Richard Starkey. All right, Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic in 2 minutes. When we come back, awaiting a press conference in Texas, updating the horrific floods. Our team coverage continues next on The Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSB-FM, and HD1 Doraville.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
You've been needing a new roof to battle the elements. If you replace your roof this month, you'll be helping battle childhood cancer too. Hi, it's Dave Baker, host of the Home Fixin' Show for my friends at Finley Roofing, the roof guys. The only thing they like better than protecting your home from the elements is giving back to the community. And once again, Findlay Roofing is proud to support the WSB Care-a-thon, benefiting the Aflac Cancer and Blood Disorder Center of Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Findlay will donate $100 from every roof replacement sold between now and July 25th. Findlay guarantees a donation of at least $10,000. With Findlay, manners matter. They treat your home like it's their own, but they don't stop there. They treat the entire community like family. When children are battling cancer, Findlay is there because we all live under one roof. The community. Get started now. Schedule your free roof analysis at FindlayRoofing.com.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is Amco Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in Amco just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to Amco.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, efficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned Amco near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA.
MCO.
News,
weather, traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. Now the latest on the Texas floods as we await a news conference this hour. Correspondent Jason Allen describing the scene at the devastated Christian girls camp in Texas that now says 27 of the girls and counselors are among the dead in the flash flooding.
We were able to make it down the road to Camp Mystic, and you could see and understand in that moment why it was so difficult to escape. There's a large building on the property. It's the size of a huge barn, and the entire front was blown out. You could see that the doors were not on cabins and windows were not intact. Everything from the grounds was gone.
And President Trump says he plans to visit Texas this week following the deadly flooding there. More than 80 people in all killed in the floods. Many more are still missing. All right, your weather for today, partly cloudy and hot, headed for an afternoon high of 94. We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. New this hour, Duluth police are warning residents about a rise in stolen checks from the mail. Investigators say those checks are being altered or washed and then cashed, costing victims thousands of dollars. Police say whenever possible, avoid mailing checks and use online options instead. And if you notice any suspicious activity, you want to report that to your bank. Two Democrats have their sights set on a seat on the Georgia Public Service Commission as early voting is underway today in a primary election runoff.
Last month's Democratic primary for District 3 on the PSC saw none of the three candidates secure the needed 50% majority vote to move ahead to the November ballot to face incumbent Republican Commissioner Fitz Johnson. Now, the top two vote-getters, Peter Hubbard and Keisha Waits, enter a statewide runoff. Early voting continues through the rest of the week ahead of Election Day next Tuesday. The commission oversees Georgia's utility companies and is responsible for approving rate increases that impact your monthly bills. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Austell is holding its first public hearing this hour on plans for a significant property tax increase.
It's a proposed 158% tax hike, which would amount to about $595 for a home with a fair market value of $299,000. Austell Mayor Ollie Clemens says in a letter to residents that the increase is necessary, and it wasn't a decision made lightly. Clemens says the city weighed every option and considered the impact to every household, but he says they can't build a better Austell on hope and patchwork solutions. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
And again, there will be another hearing this afternoon. That one starts at 5 o'clock, in addition to the one that's getting underway this hour. In parts of downtown Woodstock, you're now going to have to pay to park in some places. Kyle Bennett with Woodstock's downtown development team says it's been a long time coming.
So our merchants have really been talking with the city for a while. I'd say
the past decade about figuring out ways to better manage parking in downtown Woodstock. So we've had several parking studies done to study the issue.
And he says signs are in place to show you where the paid parking is located. The first hour is free. Then the next 2 hours, you'll be charged $2 an hour. The paid parking program will operate daily from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. As we take a look at the markets, we're in the red this morning. The Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P are all down more than 0.5%. It's time now for live team coverage, traffic, and weather. We say good Monday morning to Alex Williams. Hey there.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. And unfortunately, not a good morning now out of Norcross into the Dorville area. New crash involving at least one tractor trailer, 85 southbound, Pleasantdale Road, exit 96. Multiple center lanes are blocked in part of that right lane. So go ahead and think about using Buford Highway as an alternate. 85 and northbound heading up toward Duluth. You got that right lane construction near Steve Reynolds Boulevard, exit number 103. And they cleared up some earlier trouble, 85 southbound before 17th Street. Some lingering delays left over on the Buford Spring connector, trying to get onto 85 south heading toward Midtown. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy and hot today, high 94, lows tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds along with an isolated pop-up shower, high 93. A few pop-up storms on Wednesday, high 92.
It is already warm out there in Forest Park and Peachtree Corners. It's 87 degrees, 86 in Snellville. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I want this town to be near you.
11:04 on this fast-moving news day, Monday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. Updating the tariff expiration, the pause in the tariff set to expire in 2 days. We'll get the latest there. We continue to update our coverage of the deadly floods in Texas. In case you're just joining us, 82 dead, dozens still missing, including 27 campers and counselors at Camp Mystic have now been pronounced dead. They have just kicked off the press conference in Texas. This is Dalton Rice, the Kerrville city manager, updating us.
Unprecedented flood events. So we are still currently in the primary search phase, which is the rapid one. They are running it, we have different segments that are gridded out. Each one of those segments are taking anywhere between an hour to 3 hours, up to 2 kilometers for each segment. So what that means is they're running into a lot of technical challenges with terrain, with water, even potentially, with weather, in the rising fields. We've talked about this before. Volunteers stay out of the way, because if we start getting weather reports and all the other complications that are out there, we then have to pull off of those search and rescue missions to be able to communicate to those volunteers to get off, to make sure that they don't become victims themselves. Those operations involve 19 different local and state agencies, in addition to conducting primary and secondary searches. They will be conducting welfare checks on areas in North Kerr County impacted by power outages.
This Dalton Rice, Kerrville city manager, as the authorities in Texas have just given us an update on the deadly flooding. Vinny's going to monitor this for us and let us know if they update the missing or fatality total. But again, as of now, 82 dead, dozens still missing. And the big heart, your heart goes out to everyone impacted by this enormous biblical flood. But I can't stop thinking about the Camp Mystic, 27 campers and counselors dead. And dozens still missing. Now, I asked, Longoria never went to summer camp.
No.
Vinny you went to day camp, Vinny? Not a real sleepaway camp? Is that because you were just homesick? Right. Yeah. Deborah, I'm going to go on a limb and say you didn't do camp as a kid.
No, I did.
You did? Okay. I thought
Yeah.
I thought your family would keep you at the farm. What was your summer camp?
It was church camp.
Oh, church. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was your, how old were you? What was your experience at church camp?
I think I was about 8 years old. And I mean, I assume it was like any other camp. You had activities and swimming, and you make arts and crafts, and you hang out with your friends. We went horseback riding. It's just at the end of every day, we got together and did like a little prayer thing and read some scripture and stuff like that. But the rest of it was just partying with your friends.
Great experience, though, right?
I loved it. It was great.
Yeah. So I went to a day camp that was like that, minus the praying. But it was, arts and crafts and archery and swimming and boating. It might have been a YMCA camp in Connecticut at the time. And probably I was like 8 years old when you said. But then when I got older, I started going to baseball camp. Because obviously I was into baseball. And I don't even know how my parents could afford it back then. Because I went to Ted Williams baseball camp in Massachusetts, where kids from all over the country would come. Like, this was a big deal. My counselors were Wade Boggs, Hall of Fame baseball player. He was still in the minor leagues, just to show you how old I am. But he was one of our camp counselors and instructors. Bill Madlock, famous baseball player. His sons went to. It was a big deal. But what it really did was, it opened my eyes to a bigger world. So I grew up in a fairly small town in Connecticut, and that was it. That was, we would drive to New York to visit my grandparents, but that was my small world, my bubble, if you will. But when I went to Ted Williams baseball camp, I met kids from all over the country with different backgrounds, and it was eye-opening just to get out of my tiny little world and realize that the world was so much bigger, and there were so many different people out there than I was just used to from my small hometown. So I'm thinking about these poor campers because I remember once I went to camp, I was hooked. I wanted to go every year. And unfortunately, after a couple of years, Ted Williams sold the camp. Like, it was this massive place. They sold it to build I was heartbroken. And then my parents found me another baseball camp to go to in Connecticut called Bill Holowati's baseball. He was the head coach at Eastern Connecticut State, like a big baseball figure. And I was so excited, and because Ted Williams camp used to be 2 weeks, and Bill Holowati's camp was 2 1-week sessions. And I was like, I want to go for 2 weeks. I want to go for it. And they're like, okay, kid. Well, I don't even know how they afforded this. I don't know how much it cost. So what, unbeknownst to me and my parents, was that after the week, there was like a break, the weekend. And like when everyone went home, and then the next camp. So me and my buddy EJ were there for 2 weeks, and the camp ends, and everyone's parents are picking them up. And I go to Holowati's wife. It was like a family affair, his kids and his wife. And I was like, well, where's everyone? Like, what are we going to do? They're like, I don't know. We're going home. And I was like, we have nowhere to go. And they were so nice. They took us home to their house for the weekend. Because I guess all of our parents, when you send the kids away for camp, it's the parents' vacation too. So I guess my parents were out of town. They went somewhere, and EJ's parents were out of town. So the Holowatis took us to their house in Eastern Connecticut for the weekend. Anyway, I have such fond memories of camp. That's why it's so heartbreaking to me. Because as Vinny did the research on Camp Mystic, second grade, like there were second graders there. You know how excited they were to go to camp. And then to have this horrific flood come in the middle of the night. Like, what's more terrifying than that? You're just in your bunk, in your cabin, and the river just comes in and sweeps the cabin away in the middle, in the darkness. I can't even imagine. All those poor kids, the counselors, the campers that passed away. Even the ones that survived. Can you imagine a second grader that survives that, getting thrown down the Guadalupe River and somehow was rescued? What they're going to, like the PTSD they're going to be dealing with? And then the parents, the guilt that the parents have, which, unfounded guilt, or you shouldn't feel guilty. You're sending your kid to summer camp. Kids are probably looking for it all year long. School's out. We get to go to camp now. Camp Mystic. Man, it's just heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. Senator Ted Cruz now speaking at the press conference in Texas.
It is simultaneously inspiring. Every time there's a tragedy, every time there's a natural disaster in Texas, Texans come together. Texas is a big state. We got 31 million people, and we have hurricanes, we have tornadoes, we have wildfires. Tragedies hit this state, natural disasters hit this state, and without fail, 100 out of 100 times when that happens, we see Texans coming together, helping each other, engaging in acts of heroism. There have been over 850 high water rescues since this flooding began. 850. You look at extraordinary stories of Eagle Scouts pulling campers out of harm's way. I was just hearing a story of one counselor whose head was right at the water holding up 2 mattresses with campers on those mattresses. That kind of courage, that kind of selflessness And then there are the first responders. The local first responders, I want to thank every one of the first responders at the local level, at the city level, at the county level, at the state level, at the federal level. In the first few hours of this flood, I was on the phone with Governor Abbott, I was on the phone with Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, I was on the phone with Nim Kidd, the head of the Texas Department of Emergency Management, and then I called President Trump. I called President Trump. He was having dinner at the time. It was still early in what was transpiring. And I wanted him to know, I said, Mr. President, everything we're hearing right now, this appears to be bad, really bad. There may be a very significant loss of life unfolding right now in Texas. And I will tell you, the President said, Ted, anything Texas needs, the answer is yes. Whatever assets you need, whatever resources you need, yes, let us know, and we will provide everything. Within hours, we had helicopters, over a dozen helicopters in the air, National Guard, DPS, game wardens, Coast Guard, doing search and rescue, reaching down. We've all seen the videos of little girls being pulled up, hoisted out of harm's way. Incredible courage and heroism. Search and rescue is the first stage. But the process of coming together and rebuilding is going to take longer.
That's Senator Ted Cruz, a Republican from Texas, at the press conference right now. I do not believe we've gotten any updated totals on those that are missing and those that have been who lost their life in this catastrophic Texas flooding. Unfortunately, not out of the woods yet. The risk level for flooding rain in parts of central Texas has been upgraded from a level of 2 of 4 to now a level 3 of 4. That, according to the Weather Prediction Center. The upgraded area includes parts of hard-hit Kerr County and portions of the Guadalupe and Llano River Basins. Is Llano? Llano River Basins. Thank you, Deborah. The risk level is upgraded because of the vulnerability of already hard-hit areas and the high-end flash flood potential of the slow-moving, intense storms, despite lingering uncertainty over where they will set up. Quote, any storms that move across this extremely vulnerable region will rapidly cause flash flooding, some of which could be significant if storms repeat or stall over the already hard-hit regions. That, according to the Weather Prediction Center there in Texas. So, I mean, geez, just another gut punch there. And we talked to Chris Fox, reporter from CBS Live in Texas in the 9 o'clock hour. Deborah, this area had been hit with severe drought for like the last 5 years. Mm-hmm. And I know that doesn't help. You would think, oh, all right, then the everything's dry, so it could, but no, that's unfortunately not how it works. So we'll continue to monitor that. And again, I just don't see how there could have been a warning. I've heard questions like, why don't they have warning sirens for flash flooding? I don't even know if is that a thing? I know we have tornado sirens here, but are flash flood warnings a thing? The only flood experience I have, well, actually two. When I was a kid, there was a hurricane that hit Connecticut, and I don't remember the name of the hurricane, but it's rare we had hurricanes in Connecticut, and we saw flooding. In my backyard, there was like a little creek, and it became a legit river, and there's some streets that were flooded. But you have to fast forward to, was it 2008 or 2009, Deborah, where you had the 100-year flood here in Atlanta?
That was crazy.
You remember that? I remember because my old house was right on the back of Peachtree Creek, and I carried my dogs through hip-high water to get out of there. And I remember leaving my house going, all right, my car's gone. The water was back up to my back door of my house. And I was like, well, everything's going to be a total loss. And miracle of miracles, it didn't go any higher in my house. It did for some of my neighbors. But and as bad as Peachtree Creek was, I mean, just seeing what's been going on the Guadalupe River, I mean, it pales in comparison. And that was a 100-year flood here in Metro Atlanta, right? We're not supposed to see that kind of flood, once a century. And I know a lot of people lost their homes, and I'm not making light of what went on in, I think it was 2008 or 2009. I mean, it was horrible, but not to the devastating extent of what we're seeing with this catastrophic flooding in Texas. Just absolutely awful. I believe the digital team is going to be posting throughout the day on WSBRadio.com ways you can help, but Red Cross is usually my go-to when it comes to something like this. But as Senator Cruz mentioned, the rebuilding effort is going to be stout. and exhausting and long. But right now, we're just still in the search and rescue portion of this. We'll go back to the press conference. Ted Cruz is still speaking there. But first, we got to check the ride here locally. Joining us live in Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. What's the latest, Alex Williams?
Travel advisory into Doraville out of Norcross on 85 southbound. Mark, crash in a couple of center lanes. 85 South, Pleasantdale Road, exit 96. Already stacked up back to Indian Trail. Use Buford Highway as an alternate. On the other side of the roadway, 85 northbound up toward Duluth at Steve Reynolds Boulevard. You got right lane construction causing a brief tap of the brakes there. And seeing some brake lights, I-20 westbound in Lithonia passing Panola Road, exit 71. We'll check on that. Traffic brought to you by your neighborhood Kroger Pharmacy. Kroger Pharmacy welcomes Express Scripts, Medicare D, and TRICARE Department of Defense plan members. You can transfer prescriptions at Kroger.com/payerupdate. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
So if you can't handle your real face, then don't tell me how to handle my life.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
They have a lot more money now because they stopped kneeling.
Eric Von Hessler.
Things are going to get broken.
Eric Von Hessler.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB. Atlanta's News and Talk.
Is that knee, hip, or shoulder pain just not getting any better? Are you stuck in a cycle of steroid shots and now they're talking surgery? Before you go down that road, hit pause for a second. Hey, it's Mark Airman. I want to tell you about something that helped a lot of people get their lives back without more meds and without going under the knife. It's QC Kinetics, leaders in regenerative medicine using treatments like advanced cellular therapy and platelet-rich plasma, all designed to actually help your body heal itself. No more masking the pain. This goes right to the root of the problem. Their cellular treatments contain growth factors and healing properties to maximize your own body's ability to heal itself. And this is critical. 92% of patients report satisfaction with the results. That's not just a number. It's peace of mind that you're exploring something that's truly working for people just like you. Real results that let you move easier and live better. Call QC Kinetics today, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026.
At Ameris Bank, we know that it's never just business when it's your business. I'm Brian Parks, head of commercial banking in Atlanta for Ameris Bank. Whether your business is looking to optimize cash flow, improve your payment technology, or grow more quickly, my team and I are here and ready to help with a superior level of service, smart banking technology, and local market expertise. I invite you to reach out to my team by visiting amerisbank.com/yourbusiness or a local branch near you. Ameris Bank, fiercely yours, member FDIC.
The guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate is the easiest way to sell your home. Now you can save time and make the most money and eliminate all hassles this summer. Hey, Sean Hannity, Mark Spain Real Estate can sell your home with the strongest all-cash offer in the industry and help you move on your timeline. With over 67,000 satisfied clients, you can trust the most experienced real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home fast. Go to markspain.com and start packing.
Hey folks, it's Scott Slade. You've heard me talk for years about how Myland is saving homeowners hundreds, even thousands of dollars every month. Well, here's something that comes up often. Does it make sense to refinance your mortgage and pay off high-interest credit card debt? Well, even if you have a low interest rate on your mortgage, that isn't helping you if you're carrying credit card debt month to month. Myland sees this every day where people call in and wish they had done something sooner. Holding on and making minimum payments on your credit cards is only making the situation worse. There isn't one solution for everyone, which is why I trust and believe in my friends at Myland. They'll shoot straight and give you an honest assessment for you and your family at no cost. Do yourself a favor. Give Myland a call. Find out how much you could be saving. 770-817-2000. Call 770-817-2000. Online, it's myland.com. Spelled it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS and Georgia Residential Mortgage Licensee 148769, located at 8995 West Side Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. Myland is an equal housing lender.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
You'll be one smart cookie when you try Bluebell Cookie Cake Ice Cream. A sweet cream ice cream loaded with chocolate chip cookie cake pieces and swirls of chocolate and vanilla icing. This cookie cake ice cream really takes the cake.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell half gallons, specially priced $5.99 when buying 2 at all Kroger's now through July 15th.
All foundations are created equal, and neither are foundation repair methods. That is why you should always turn to Atlanta Ramjack for your foundation repair. Mark Beckham here, and we have carefully designed our foundation repair methods over the years, currently holding 12 different patents for our solutions. So if you see cracks in your brick or floor, or if a door doesn't shut properly, or your windows stick, this can all spell foundation trouble. Visit AtlantaRamjack.com for your free estimate and peace of mind.
It's July, and that means pool days, summer celebrations, and of course, heat. Georgia heat is brutal. Don't let your home be a sauna. Coolray has the perfect solution to keep you cool this summer. Coolray is offering you $2,250 in rebates and free attic insulation when you purchase your new complete Carrier system. You know, proper insulation is like a sidekick for your HVAC, keeping cool air in and hot air out. Call or go online to Coolray.com to book your appointment today. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
If I am confirmed in the United States Senate, I will do my best to serve the court and this nation.
44 years ago today, heard on WSB Radio, that was Sandra Day O'Connor. President Reagan announced he would nominate her to be the first woman to sit on the Supreme Court. Justice Connor retired in 2006. That was 44 years ago today, July 7th. 1981 here on WSB Radio. Getting new information from the press conference about the horrific flooding in Texas. Kerr County Sheriff Larry Lethia said as of 8:30 a.m. local time this morning, 75 bodies have been recovered after floodwaters hit the area on the 4th of July. The death total includes 48 adults and 27 children. Quoting the press conference, he said, of this 48 adults, 27 children, 15 adults, and 9 children pending identification. Also, we've been talking about Camp Mystic. At present, there are 10 campers from Camp Mystic unaccounted for and 1 counselor. So that's updating the Camp Mystic statement today that said 27 campers and counselors died in the flooding. 10 campers and 1 counselor still missing. I'm without words. I'm speechless when we talk about this. Let's dip back live. This is Dalton Rice, Kerrville City Manager.
Looking at 100 kilometers, right? That's a big straight line distance. That's not even along the river. These areas take a lot of time to get out to. So even when first responders were on the ground at 3:30 in the morning and we had reports, we had first responders that were getting swept away, actually responding to the first areas of rainfall. That's how quick it happened. First responders who have experience, who are Swiftwater qualified, were driving to as soon as the rain started falling, were driving to these areas, and one of them got swept off the road.
One last question. Between 1 and 4 a.m. from local law enforcement to the camp, saying, I know you can't get buses in an hour, but was there anyone telling the camp between 1 and 4 a.m. you need to get the girls to higher ground, at the very least, even if they have to walk up there in the rain, as many of them actually ended up doing? Was there any communication from local law enforcement to anyone at that camp between 1 and 4 a.m.?
That I don't know off the top of my head. What I do know, though, is...
How are you, 1 to 4 a.m., how are you going to even get in contact with someone at the camp between 1 and 4 a.m.? Oh, my God. Dalton Rice, Kerrville City Manager there. Death toll has now increased to 89 people. 89 people killed in the catastrophic Texas floods. Just absolutely heartbreaking. Swiftwater Rescue. I wonder if we're sending some of our Swiftwater Rescue folks here in Georgia out there to Texas. We'll look into that. Our coverage continues. Sabrina's got news, weather, and traffic in 3 minutes. When we get back, the latest on the devastating floods. We're going to check back in with reporter Chris Fox from CBS in Texas. That's next on The Mark Arum Show.
This is Scott Slade. Nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially trouble with your heart. The earlier, the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's heart scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries early with the best CT imaging in the Southeast and with 98% accuracy. To encourage you to take action now, for a limited time, Virtual Imaging is offering their heart scan for only $49. It's a $495 value, but appointments for this offer will fill up fast, so don't wait. To schedule your virtual imaging $49 heart scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. I know, it saves lives. Don't put it off. Take advantage of this great offer from Virtual Imaging.
When someone's AC is on the fritz, drains are clogged, or wall outlets are sparking, Castile Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical never asks, how soon do you need it fixed? You know why? Because no one in recorded history has ever said, oh, take your time, just whenever you can get to it. We just assume how fast can you get here will always be the answer. So Castile will be there same day, and we won't leave until you're 100% satisfied. See? Sometimes it's good to assume. It gets your AC fixed fast. Book today at CastileAir.com.
You know kids will ruin your life, right? Especially if you're a garage door. I mean, babies are adorable, don't get me wrong. But after that adorable phase where they barf and poop on everything, they turn into a cheap garage door's worst nightmare. Whacking tennis balls against the door all day, up and down every time they ride a bike. You dreamy young'uns might have the energy to start a family, but that rusty avocado green aluminum garage door that came with your house is too old for this jazz. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Modern, insulated garage doors are built to stand up to family life. They resist dents, they don't ring like a gong when you whack them with a puck, and they go up and down, super quiet, as many times as your kids change their minds. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll treat you like family.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Here's what you'll get at Wolfpan European Auto Repair in Roswell. Honest pricing, factory-trained certified technicians, and real car lovers working on your Porsche, BMW, Audi, Mercedes-Benz. Just search Wolfpan Auto Repair and see the difference.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. A news briefing underway from Kerrville, Texas, on the deadly flooding there. Senator Ted Cruz.
Texas is grieving right now. The pain, the shock of what has transpired these last few days has broken the heart of our state.
Sheriff Larry Aletha has the latest on the numbers this morning.
As of 8:30 this morning, we recovered 75 deceased bodies here in Kerr County, including 48 adults and 27 children. Of this 48 adults and 27 children, 15 adults and 9 children are pending identification.
In all, 89 people in Texas killed in the flooding there. President Trump saying he may visit the state later this week. Still in Texas this morning and just into the WSB newsroom, a 27-year-old man has been killed after opening fire at a U.S. Border Patrol facility in McAllen, Texas. Few details have been released as the incident is still under investigation. All right, your weather for today, it's going to be partly cloudy and hot. We're headed for an afternoon high of 94 degrees, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. And heads up this week, there are going to be rolling lane closures, both south and northbound on Georgia 400. This is between Abernathy Road and Georgia 141. It's due to work on the upcoming Express Lanes project there. The lane closures will be in place now through Saturday, according to the Georgia Department of Transportation, and that'll be from 9 p.m. in the evening until 5 a.m. Every morning. It's a first for downtown Woodstock. You're going to have to pay to park in parts of the downtown area now.
There'll be signs up near your parking spots where you either can text, scan a QR code, or go into app to start a parking session, basically.
That's Kyle Bennett with Woodstock's downtown development team. He says that the first hour is going to be free. Then the next 2 hours will charge you $2 an hour. The paid parking program will operate daily from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. Early voting underway today for a runoff election that could impact your utility bills. 2 candidates running as Democrats for the District 3 Georgia Public Service Commission. They face off in a primary runoff after neither secured the necessary majority vote needed in last month's primary. Peter Hubbard and Keisha Waits are both vying for the seat, which is elected by voters statewide. Now, the winner will face incumbent Republican Commissioner Fitz Johnson in November. Oil prices fall after OPEC and its allies agree to a larger than expected production hike for next month.
The group led by Saudi Arabia has decided to boost supply by 548,000 barrels a day. That puts OPEC and its allies on track to unwind their most recent output cuts a year earlier than planned. Officials with the group pointed to summer demand as one reason for their optimism that those extra barrels could be absorbed by the market. The production hike answers President Donald Trump's calls for lower fuel costs. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
Checking your money at 11:33. The Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P are all in the red. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams joining us now from the 24-hour traffic center with a look at your roads.
And got some better news for those traveling out of Duluth and Norcross down toward I-285 Spaghetti Junction. They just got that crash off to the right, 85 southbound Pleasantdale Road, exit number 96. Heads up, though, in the Clarkston area. We got some heavy police activity surrounding a tractor-trailer, 285 northbound, the Outer Loop Memorial Drive, exit 41 there in that right lane. Luckily, only causing a brief slow zone, so no need for an alternate there. And if you're traveling on the south side, some brake lights, 75 southbound through Stockbridge from Highway 138 down to Hudson Bridge Road. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy and hot through this afternoon, high 94, lows tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, an isolated pop-up shower possible, otherwise partly cloudy, high 93. A few pop-up showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday, high 92.
And if you're headed out for an early lunch, hope your air conditioning's working. It's already hot out there. 89 degrees in Tucker and Riverdale. It's 88 here in Midtown Atlanta. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
What would you do with $1,000 this summer?
Hotel, pool, week at the beach, cabin in the woods.
Whatever you want to do this summer,
WSB has $1,000 to make it happen.
$1,000 Thursdays gives you the chance to win $1,000 every hour between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Listen for the keyword at 9, 10, and 11 a.m. and 12, 1, 2, and 3 p.m.
Enter the keyword at WSBradio.com or on the WSB app within that hour.
You could win $1,000. Get all the info at WSBradio.com.
$1,000 Thursdays this Thursday.
95.5 WSB, where Atlanta wins.
I'm sure we will ask questions about how, when the next flood occurs, how do we make sure that you don't have
Texas
7 and
Senator
8-year-old
Ted Cruz, as the search for survivors continue, the latest on the horrific floods. We'll get you caught up to date next on the Mark Arum Show.
Yeah, about 12, 13 years ago, I remember sitting in the house watching TV when I noticed that one of the walls looked different. It was a darker shade than the rest of the walls. Upon further investigation, it was soft and wet to the touch. You know, not having any plumbing in that area, there's only one real explanation. My roof was leaking.
Dave Baker for Finley Roofing, the roof guys.
So I needed a new roof. Like any major repair for my house, I checked out a bunch of companies. Only one company passed all my criteria, though, Findlay Roofing. The roof guys. Findlay Roofing was the perfect match when it came to getting a new roof. Turned out they really are the extra effort experts. They treated my home like it was their own, tearing off the old shingles, installing new ones. They were neat and cleaned everything up, and I didn't pay anything until the job was complete. Right now, Findlay is offering upfront pricing, 0% financing, and a free roof analysis. When it comes to roofing issues, think of Findlay first. See them on the web at findlayroofing.com.
Is that knee, hip, or shoulder pain just not getting any better? Are you stuck in a cycle of steroid shots and now they're talking surgery? Before you go down that road, hit pause for a second. Hey, it's Mark Arum. I want to tell you about something that helped a lot of people get their lives back without more meds and without going under the knife. It's QC Kinetics, leaders in regenerative medicine using treatments like advanced cellular therapy and platelet-rich plasma, all designed to actually help your body heal itself. No more masking the pain. This goes right to the root of the problem. Their cellular treatments contain growth factors and healing properties to maximize your own body's ability to heal itself. And this is critical. 92% of patients report satisfaction with the results. That's not just a number. It's peace of mind that you're exploring something that's truly working for people just like you. Real results that let you move easier and live better. Call QC Kinetics today, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. fresh for everyone.
Save on select bags of Doritos, Cheetos, or Tostitos. Mix and match your favorite flavors and buy 2, get 3 free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2, ox, a camel, and a kangaroo.
11:37 on the Mark Aram Show. Urgent search for survivors continues after the Texas floods. The fatality number has increased to 89. 89 killed in the Texas floods, and I'm afraid to say that number is likely to increase. Continuous coverage of the search and rescue efforts and the fact that they're still under a flood watch there in that portion of central Texas along the Guadalupe River. Coming up in just a second, there's a local story I want to tell you about. A couple of Barrow County Sheriff's deputies were honored for what they did at the tragic Appalachia High shooting. We'll tell you about that in just a minute. But earlier in the show, Chris Fox, reporter for CBS, he is our embedded reporter in Texas for CBS. He's always willing to jump on during breaking news and give us an update. So we had him on earlier in the show. So you're going to hear me. This is a recorded interview from the 9 o'clock hour. So you're going to hear me reference some totals on the dead and the missing, which have changed now. But I wanted to revisit because Chris was, getting a firsthand account of what he saw there, the devastated portion along that Guadalupe River. So, Chris, what can you tell us this Monday morning?
Yeah, I guess the latest we're hearing is Camp Mystic, 27 dead. We're still 10 missing and 10 missing campers and 1 counselor. And so we're looking at basically at least 400 first responders scouring about 35, 40 miles of the Guadalupe River from Hunt, Texas, which is where Camp Mystic was located, all the way down through Kerrville, where I am, down to Center Point and Comfort. And that's where a great deal of the first responders focused yesterday. And a lot of the bodies were found. They set up a grid system. There were so many bodies down in Comfort. And helicopters, again, buzzing overhead. They stopped last night, began about 7 a.m. this morning locally. One of the nice things about today so far is it's not raining. And it was partly cloudy. Now it's mostly cloudy. There are heavy rains in the forecast. This just makes life hell for first responders going through debris. It's fluctuating water levels make it really, really difficult to go through just debris fields that could fill stadiums. And at this point, there is heavy rains in the forecast, but they are expected hopefully north and northeast would be best if they hit northeast instead of northwest, because northwest would feed the Guadalupe River.
Yeah, I gave the water totals last segment, Chris. The amount of water that came down the river was equal to the amount of water used in the United States in 1 year. I mean, that's biblical type flooding. Did this just come out of nowhere? How heavy were the rains that caused this flooding?
Absolutely, yeah, and it's all over Central Texas. I live in Austin. We got pummeled as well. Rivers there, 6 dead in Travis County, another dead in Williamson County due to the flooding. And this is an area also that has been under severe drought conditions for 5 years. So the ground is just rock hard to start with. So which doesn't help matters at all. And so it is all at once or nothing, and it's just amazing to see. Also, it's amazing to feel the power. So you can watch it on TV, and it looks amazing. But you stand there over the bridge or on the bluff where I am in Kerrville, and one of the people standing near me said, you can feel it with your body. You can feel the power of it, and it's intimidating. It makes you nervous, that feeling of just feeling like you're not in control. And that's how powerful the water is. I got here at a period of time when the water rose a couple feet because of rains and because of that wall of water coming down from Johnson Creek just north of here. And so it was like, oh, here we go again feeling at that time, because the water had receded pretty much. But now today with the threat of heavy rains again, it does add that one more aspect to this thing. It just feels crazy.
Chris, was it so sudden that there was nothing that like the campers at Camp Mystic or the counselors could do to get out? Was it just that fast and that ferocious?
And the fact that it's in the middle of the night.
Oh, absolutely.
That everyone was asleep. And yes, it was. You see the levels on the side of the camp of cabins. You see how high the water level was, and that those cabins near the Guadalupe, they had to bash out the windows and jump out the windows. Also, this is called Flash Flood Alley, and it's because of the way hill country is. Basically focuses water in certain directions, and it does it quickly. And if you add to it the fact that it has been such a drought area for so long, and the ground is hard as a rock, the water just filters like a funnel quickly. And that's part of the arguments being made against the county judge for not evacuating the camps a day in advance, because, as she said, we didn't realize it was going to be like this. We didn't, the flash floods aren't uncommon here.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you have a nickname, Flash Flood Alley. But how serious? I guess it's one of those. How seriously do you take them when it happens so often?
And I was looking at the maps where Camp Mystic lays around a bend of the Guadalupe River, and there's an offshoot there, Cypress Creek, and it just
lake right there.
It just looks like that is prime for a flood zone. You mentioned this is west of Austin, northwest of San Antonio. I'm assuming this is a pretty rural area, Chris?
It's hill country. It is. There are vineyards when you drive in, dozens and dozens of vineyards as you drive in. This is the most beautiful area of the state by far, and this is why it's such a draw along the Guadalupe River for events like 4th of July, long weekends in the summer. One of the nice things is it's currently still in the 70s here right now, high in the low 80s. That's one thing at this time of year. Obviously, we could be looking at hundreds, and we're not.
Talking about the strength of the storm surge and the flood and just the devastation, right? The countless people that are dead and missing. From your vantage point, is this a rebuildable area? Will folks even want to return to this area after this horrible flood?
Kerrville Strong is the slogan that you see driving in everywhere, and so I think that answers the question. Yes, and the power of it. I had heard before I got here, the water was rushing so hard it wore the bark off the trees, and to see these cypress trees and to see what they were talking about in person, while you feel the power of the water and you can hear it, it's an overwhelming experience.
Indeed. Chris Fox, CBS News, live in Texas. Chris, as always, appreciate your time, my friend.
Thank you.
Let me jump over. The mayor of Kerrville speaking to CNN, talking about the floods.
Fairly often because of the terrain here. But I look at every one of them. Even before I was elected mayor, I look at every one of them because it's critical to know and to share.
That's Mayor Joe Herring Jr. Mayor of Kerrville, Texas, said he did not know the floods would be so severe. Obviously, a massive story we're going to follow throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB. Local story, Deborah. A couple of Barrow County deputies have been honored for their work during their response, I guess is the proper terminology, during those horrible shootings at the Appalachian High School. Where did this honor come from, and what are they honored for?
Yeah, the deputies are Chase Boyd and Brandon King. They're two Barrow County deputies, and they are the two that confronted the alleged Appalachia school shooter, and they're being honored with the National Association of School Resource Officers Award of Valor, which is basically the highest award you can give a student resource officer because, they jumped into action that day. They stopped what could have been potentially worse than what it already was.
Yeah, it's interesting that this coming on the heels, I think it was last week or maybe the week before, that there are some families in Barrow County that are suing the sheriff's department and the school system for the lack of response. Nice to see that those deputies in Barrow County were honored for their service on that terrible day in in Barrow County. All right, when we come back, any new information on the Texas flooding, we'll update our top local stories. At least some better news this go around as far as traffic on I-85 in DeKalb County. Pleasantdale Road hadn't been so pleasant, Alex Williams.
Yeah, it hadn't been, but thanks to our awesome hero units, they were quick to get a crash involving a big rig to the right shoulder, 85 southbound Pleasantdale Road, exit 96. Had to hold most of the right side of the roadway to do so, but again, everything's off to the right. Everything is back open. Some lingering delays out of Duluth, but no more need for an alternate. Just hang in there as you head down into Norcross. 85 northbound, got that right lane construction in Duluth at Steve Reynolds Boulevard, exit number 103. And we also have a left lane construction up in the Emerson area, 75 northbound Old Alatoona Road, exit 283, causing a bit of a slow zone as you head up to Red Top Mountain Road. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Well, Tuesday on Atlanta's Morning News, overnight new info from the flood disaster zone in Texas. Triple Team Traffic gets you to work on time. And Clark Howard's got a specific tip on lowering your prescription drug costs. I'm Chris Chandler. We start at 5 on WSB.
Summer is awesome, but have you been staying cool? Ashley Frasca for Ragsdale, the heating and air company I've trusted in my home for years. My friends at Ragsdale care about your family's comfort. Go online to ragsdaleair.com to make an appointment now. Take advantage of a savings of up to $1,700 off a brand new Carrier home comfort system. Plus, Ragsdale is your family's go-to for dependable plumbing and electrical services, too. Schedule at ragsdaleair.com or give them a call. Ragsdale, the name I know you can trust.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Hey, this is Robbie with Ben Hill Renovations, the preferred deck experts heard on the Home Fix-It Show. We're well known for our superior craftsmanship for decks and outdoor living spaces. And at Ben Hill Renovations, we provide that same attention to detail when it comes to roofing, siding, windows, and doors. So get your project started today and call to schedule a free estimate. Or you can stop by our showroom in Douglasville. Online at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data-managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through July 21st. New customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card for your business. Call and switch to Comcast Business today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Hi, I'm Trisha, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where we're all about you, your style, your budget, your dream engagement ring. Are you looking for a style that's classic, modern, vintage, or something in between? Not sure? At Shane Company, we're here to help. We have so much style under one roof because a friend knows you like options. Drop by or visit us at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
It is officially summer break, and we can all take a deep breath. Well, only if your air ducts are clean. Call the cleaning pros at Zero Res to get your ducts insanely clean. And now you can take advantage of their summer sale for 15% off all services, including carpet, area rugs, and air duct cleanings. For a limited time, mention me, Chris Chandler, and you'll get 15% off your next service. That is right, any service, 15% off. Use promo code SUMMERSALE when scheduling online at ZeroResAtlanta.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. If you're over 50 and tired of your wireless bill getting higher and higher, there are 4 things to consider. 1, how much data are you really using? As we get older, we use less data on our wireless phone, but you're probably still paying for an unlimited plan that was designed for 20-somethings. 2, if you see Get a Phone on Us, get your sneakers out and run the other way. No one is giving you a free phone. You are paying for that phone over time with an overpriced rate plan and a long-term commitment. 3, check the fine print on that $15 a month plan. It's probably an intro price that'll double or triple later. You might even have to pay for several months of service up front. Number 4, be aware of cable company wireless plans. Most of your usage will be on Wi-Fi instead of 5G, and your calls and battery life could suffer. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide service without the big wireless bill. Our plans start at just $20 a month.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Sometimes we try and disguise the fact we're eating cake. It's breakfast, I can't have cake. I'll have a muffin.
Happy 59th birthday. One of my favorite comedians, Jim Gaffigan. Hilarious. I've seen him in concert performance. I don't know. I've seen him do a stand-up a couple times. He has never been a guest on the Mark Arum Show. Do you know who has been, though? Mr. Craig Robinson. He's been on the show like a half a dozen times. Deborah, Craigie is retiring from stand-up comedy.
Yeah, he made this announcement that he's going to take a step back from comedy and acting. He wants to start a small business. He thanks all the fans for supports, but he did not reveal what that next venture would be.
I get it. If you've ever seen Craig Robinson, he's a different type of comedian. He gets on stage with it's kind of musical. He's got his keyboard. Great dude. But I don't believe, I think it's just that Pizza Hut money. I think he got that Pizza Hut money. He's like, I don't need to work anymore. Because he became the voice of Pizza. Remember?
That's right.
Last time he was on, I asked him about that, and he was like, "I can't tell you the numbers," but he was very happy. So Craig Robinson retiring from stand-up comedy. Anyway, he's probably more well-known as an actor now. Anyway, with The Office and Pineapple Express, or no, Hot Tub Time Machine. All that.
Hot Tub.
Yeah. Anyway, he's been on the show a bunch. Love him. All right, local story. Good news. The famous Shriners Hospital is going to be opening a big outfit in Midtown Atlanta. Deborah.
Yeah, they're going to open up a $153 million pediatric research center at Atlantic Science Square, which basically is Georgia Tech for the rest of us. And they're going to focus on gene therapy and robotics and all these medical innovations along with Georgia Tech and Emory. They're going to work together. And, you know, Shriners is one of those hospitals where they will accept insurance, but they also treat families who do not have the means to pay for all the services.
And their commercials make me cry on TV. So apparently construction's already begun. Facility expected to be operational within 12 to 18 months. Shriners operates 17 hospitals across the U.S. and additional locations in Mexico and Canada. This is great. You think of what we got with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta and Scottish Rite. Now we get the Shrine. I mean, we're becoming the medical mecca. I think the only thing we need is like a Mayo Clinic now.
Oh, and they're talking about it'll bring over 400 jobs to the city itself.
Excellent. Good news. So welcome South Shriners. Shriners Children's Research Institute will be coming to Atlanta. Big operation there off of Georgia Tech's Midtown campus.
Longoria's Fact of the Day.
All right. First fact of the day, back from vacation. So it's National Dive Bar Day today. Historically, they were often located in basements or cellars, hence the name dive. And we have a reputation of being slightly disruptible. The term dive bar originated in the late 19th century, referring to establishments located below the street level where patrons would dive in.
My favorite dive bar of all time was called The Nightcap in Poughkeepsie, New York. It was the go-to dive bar in college. Many amazing nights there. A couple years after I graduated, I don't know about the statute of limitation. I'm pretty sure the owner burned it down for the insurance money.
Okay, yeah.
Tony was the owner. Good dude. But yeah, I missed that place so much. I wanted to do a GoFundMe or a fundraiser back in the day. I guess there wasn't a GoFundMe.
He was like,
yet.
no, I got this.
I was just like, we got to rebuild the nightcap. But then you couldn't capture the gross essence that was the night. I still have a menu from the night. They served food there. It's crazy. I've got it actually on my desk because Michelle Wright and I went to Mayor's College, and she was a nightcap regular, and I was a nightcap regular. It's amazing. No, I'm not even going to say that.
I can't believe you guys didn't know each other.
I can't believe we didn't hook up. That's more surprising. Like, no, like we're both. That's
HR.
No, I mean, it was the thing. You know, you go to nightcap. You're looking for anyway. Love you, Michelle. Miss you. Miss you. I'm gonna stop talking now.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Aram star of the show?
Michelle, definitely my type. I'm saying, Longoria. It's anyway.
Oh, I get it. Yeah,
I am going to stop talking right now. All right, Longoria, you got buried in stars of the show while you were gone. So I got to give you one just to make it fair. But I'm also giving one to myself, Vinny, and Deborah. So you're not getting any ground. Our guest, Chris Fox from CBS, joined us live in Texas on that heartbreaking story. Eric Erickson joined us live as well. Eric's going to continue our coverage of the Texas flooding. I'm sure Eric's going to find ways where you folks can help out where need be, whether it's financial or otherwise. Eric's going to have reaction to the big, beautiful bill. And Elon Musk floating, well, it seems to be a legitimate thing now, a third party. I'm not going to call it what he's calling it. I think it's a dumb name, but a third party politically. So Eric's going to continue our team coverage. I shall be active on social media. No nap today for this guy, at Mark Arum, MarkArum, on all the platforms, including Blue Sky. Follow me on Blue Sky. It's like I'm talking to nobody there. Follow me on Blue Sky, please. That's all I ask of you today. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Stay safe. Have a great Monday, Atlanta.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard, sponsored by Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
What's going to happen when you go to buy something because of the tariffs? One of the things that Costco Wholesale is doing, they're raising prices on items that are want-to-haves, but holding the line on items that are must-haves, so that you get to decide how badly you want something that you don't have to have, but at the same time helping you with your wallet with the things you need to have.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, and I'm so excited to invite you to our designer pop-up event July 19th and 20th. Come see extended lines of engagement rings, wedding bands, plus brand new wedding day and fashion jewelry from the top designers in the industry, like Veragio's handcrafted blend of the trends and looks of today with the timeless vintage beauty of the past. So don't just look for a ring, find the perfect ring at D. Geller & Son's designer pop-up event July 19th and 20th in Kennesaw and Sandy Springs. RSVP online at dgeller.com.
News,
weather,
traffic.